Office says 66-year-old Bernard Domagala died Tuesday as a result of injuries suffered in that shooting. He was shot in 1988 by Tommy Lee Hudson, an ex-Chicago police officer who had barricaded himself inside a Southside home. The incident left Domagala with brain damage. Anthony Rizzo on base in all 4 of his at-bats, helping the Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2 at PNC. The Indians push their winning streak to a franchise record 15 games. They drilled the White Sox 11-2. Getting you ready for your college football Saturday. Illinois squares off with Western Kentucky in Champaign. In the MAC, our Huskies of NIU face off against Eastern Illinois. Northwestern on the road to face Duke, while number 25 Notre Dame takes on 15th-ranked Georgia. The news service of Cabela's. Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Save $70 on Savage 111 Trophy rifle scope packages. And get 40% off Herder's men's and women's and youth camo clothing. Plus $20 off a Centerpoint Sniper 370 camo crossbow package. Shop in-store or online at Cabela's.com. 5:07, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The biggest conservative event in Chicago is back. It's Freedom Summit 2017, and it's coming to the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 11th, and it's bigger than ever. This year, see best-selling author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza, along with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chirakuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you. A high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
5:10, and a check of the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest with Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good Friday morning, Mike. On Chicago's north side, we have a closure of Halsted at North Avenue due to a major overnight wreck. CTA is rerouting 72 and number 8 buses. There are several closures around the city for weekend festivals. It'll be a heavy traffic weekend. Festivals, pretty much all the area sports teams are in town with the Cubs, Sox, Bears, and Fire all at home, plus some college football in DeKalb and South Bend. Right now, it's fairly quiet on the Edens and the Kennedy, though there's some rain in the area, so road services are wet. We have a few incidents. Inbound Stevenson at Western, a 3-car crash blocks the shoulder. Tri-State southbound near Cicero, a crash blocks 2 right lanes. There's a vehicle in the ditch farther south at 127th. Northbound, we see roadwork delays in the Tri-State from I-80 to 159th. The other tollways are good. Northwest Indiana's fine right now. traffic, service of CC's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CC's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CC's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Got to watch out for those marching bands this weekend. Von Steuben this weekend. Look out for those RB Bulldogs. They'll be marching. 58 right now. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and cool with a high of 66. Partly cloudy and 52 overnight. Sunshine and 70 for the Marchers tomorrow. 59 at O'Hare, 62 along Chicago's lakefront. Updated temp just in from Aurora, 52. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Hurricane Irma heading for Florida. But hey, did you see the pictures of St. Martin?
Oh, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Just devastating.
They're talking about 95% of the island is essentially destroyed or, quote unquote, uninhabitable.
Yeah, and 8 people died there that we know of so far.
Pictures of cars and boats on beaches and, parts of St. Martin just underwater, basically. It's a serious business. The good news is perhaps a limited silver lining, but downgraded to Category 4.
Yeah, but it's still going to have storm surges of up to 10 feet and winds of up to 165 miles per hour. So when they tell you to get out, you need to heed the warning and get out. But some people are going to stay, and even Governor Rick Scott said, if you stay, we will not put our lives at risk to save you.
Talking about this being one of the largest evacuations in history, you've got the military preparing to support thousands of troops, includes in Florida, 4 naval vessels as well for disaster relief have been scrambled to arrive in advance of Irma making landfall. And
Miami has 300 high rises, and you think, what? You cannot board up a high rise. And then those construction cranes, there's 8 construction cranes in the sky, and they decided to let them be like a wind vane, Dan, and move side to side, but they can't, there's not enough time for them to take them down. Because if they become unbolted, watch out. I mean, that is what will kill people, the flying debris.
125,000 Palm Beach residents being told to leave starting today at 10 a.m. Florida time, according to the Sun Sentinel down there. Also, Mar-a-Lago being forced to evacuate. How about that?
Do you think the Trumpster is going to be down there with Melania boarding it up today?
No,
Get in and get out while they can?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I do have a question, though, is do we know yet if Irma is racist?
Well, Irma sounds... Well, yeah, that's right.
No, I mean...
Because it's targeting the Caribbean and Hispanic, Puerto Rico.
Well, I mean...
I'm sorry, Puerto Rico.
With weather events now, per the solar eclipse and that now infamous piece by the Brooklyn law professor about the solar eclipse being racist, we have to look at the racial composition of the affected population in order to determine if Mother Nature is a racist. Since we like to personify weather, whether these storms are racist. So I just didn't know if anybody had run the numbers thus far to see if it's trending towards racist or not.
I don't know. But there was also an earthquake, 8.2 magnitude earthquake in Mexico near Chiapas.
Yes.
5 people dead so far. I mean, so, it's global warming. That's what the left is saying. That all these hurricanes, because Jose's on Irma's tail. Well, that sounds racist. And that's because of global warming. That this is our fault. We brought this upon ourselves.
Yeah, I know. They were saying that about, they say that about everything. The problem, of course, is, well, up until Harvey, we hadn't had one for 5 years, right?
Yeah. And this is the largest hurricane. It's the size of Texas that is barreling down on Florida. But everybody knows somebody who lives in Florida. I have family in Jacksonville, in Bradenton. And so, everybody's handling it different. The Bradenton people are going to stay, and they boarded up their windows. And the Jacksonville people are just going to wait and see because they think once it hits landfall, it's going to go from a Category 4 to a 3 to a 2, just to a tropical storm.
And then isn't it supposed to move from South Florida to Charleston?
Yeah, Savannah's right in the bullseye.
Well, I hope it doesn't hit Charleston too hard because I'm, planning on moving there.
Oh, that's
when
right.
I leave Illinois.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, the next 30 to 45 days.
Oh, really?
I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. Although, I don't want to be cavalier about storms and devastation.
Yeah, but but the scary thing is when things are scarce, people act erratically. And right now, gasoline is scarce. So all the gas tankers are being escorted by police vehicles. Have you seen that video on the long, long gas lines? So
yeah, you got a little Mad Max going on.
Yeah. And here's Governor Rick Scott.
Yeah, he's the governor of Florida, don't you?
Yeah.
This is serious, and we cannot take chances. It is life-threatening. This is not a storm you can sit and wait through.
And they're urging people to get to one of the 30 shelters that are already open.
They need to go to one of our shelters, and they need to go quick. And matter of fact, that's the place to go.
And it's so disheartening. All the people that are stuck at the Miami-Dade airport, have you seen? Couples that can't get on flights, people that were bumped from flights. And that airport's going to shut down later this afternoon. Or on Saturday afternoon, they're shutting everything down. So people are going to, but they're trying to tell people, don't come here for shelter. Come here if you're trying to get a flight, but you can't stay here.
All right. Well, we'll be monitoring this on our AM 560 Storm Watch.
Oh, don't we have storm chasers?
Fictional Doppler radar, highest powered in the region.
Or otherwise known as Mike Scott.
Yeah, that's what I'm
guy.
talking about. Yeah, we'll keep you updated on it as changes occur as the storm moves to make landfall in South Florida.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Well, what about Sean from Elmwood Park? Because he has property down there. Did he go and board it up?
He doesn't have property down there.
Oh, he just lives with his... Oh, he doesn't have property. Okay.
No, he sells property down there.
Oh.
That's not the same thing as owning property.
So is he going to board up his cigar shop in Elmwood Park or in Elmhurst just to, to feel in juntos with his
right.
Floridians?
Solidarity. I don't know. I'll ask.
Yeah, that'd be good. Today we're going to have partly sunny skies. It's going to be cool. Again, a high of 66 degrees. Then over the weekend, gorgeous, not warm, but plenty of sunshine Saturday. A high of 70. And on Sunday for the Bears-Falcons game, kickoff at noon, it's going to be great. You're going to have sunshine and, again, a high of 70 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. There's a mess out there on the roadways. Been hearing about it. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Chicago's north side still the closure of Halsted at North Avenue due to a major overnight wreck. This happened before 1:30 this morning, and things are still closed. The 72 North Avenue and 8 Halsted buses are both being rerouted, and Halsted is completely blocked at that intersection. And then there are the expressways. Inbound Stevenson, Stop and Go California to Western with a multi-vehicle crash on the right shoulder. Just a 2-minute delay at the moment. Inbound Ryan, I-57 with mild delays. Tri-State, northbound, heavy, I-80 to 159th after overnight road work. A couple of southbound crashes north of there have cleared. No issues to report right now in northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on the show each morning, including our sister site, HDA, Homeowners Defense Association, the website defendhomeowners.com to get your free property tax report on your property in Illinois. Free property tax report, your property in Illinois. In addition to that, back at Upstream, we've got long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. We do podcasts for Illinois Rising program, which airs on the station on Sundays at 3 p.m., covering state policy and politics. Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments. This week, we ask people to follow Bruce Rauner's logic, citing sanctuary state legislation. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings, and dollars and cents reviews, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient policy issues of the day and their impacts on household budgets and families. You can check it out by visiting and signing up at upstream-ideas.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, CERTA, or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, of course, the mention again of price gouging in the wake of Hurricane Irma. We talked about it briefly during Hurricane Harvey, these anti-price gouging laws. And it's politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, that demagogue these issues, including the same people who say, the market clearing price before a hurricane is fine, and after a hurricane is fine. During a hurricane, that's where the government sets in and knows what the price should be.
Well,
so so the obligation is actually on them to explain why it is that during a hurricane or some other natural disaster, the government knows what the price should be. The market no longer, based on the mutually beneficial voluntary exchanges. The market no longer is the best arbiter of price.
Well, this issue began because a number of stores, because the store owners are leaving, have shut down, and water is scarce.
Someone was charging over $70 for a pack of water.
So somebody charging $70 for a pack of water that normally costs $2.95.
They feel like they're being taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So your friend Pam Bondi, not your friend, but she's the Florida Attorney General. She's pretty upset, Dan.
That's sickening. It's disgusting. It's unacceptable, and we're not going to have it.
Yeah, she's a Republican, and her either misunderstanding or purposeful misstatement of economics is sickening, disgusting, and we shouldn't have it. And we shouldn't be lectured, frankly, on economics by a lawyer. That's always the worst place to go. So here's the thing. This great picture that Mark Perry posted on Carpe Diem blog at American Enterprise Institute. See this?
Yeah.
This is a Tampa Walmart with a woman who's got like 4 full shopping carts of Aquafina, right?
Yeah.
And
she's probably selling it on the street for a lot of money.
At Reddit, the libertarian website had posted this with the caption, "If only there was some mechanism to discourage overbuying while simultaneously encouraging extra production and availability during a disaster." Another person commented, "This lady loves anti-price gouging laws." So, this is where we lead with our, I don't know, ignorant indignation rather than taking a step back and understanding. And by the way, companies get hammered for this, right? Get hammered for this picture. See this picture?
Yeah, the
empty
Walmart
shelves.
empty shelves.
Empty shelves. So, the one hand, you get hammered by raising the price because resources are scarce and there's greater demand than normal. On the other hand, if you maintain an artificially low price, your shelves get cleaned out, and then you get hammered for having nothing on your shelves. Yeah. We want it all. We want a world without consequences.
But do you think,
we want a world where scarcity doesn't exist. I know, me too.
Don't you think they're capitalizing on people in need? Or that just is the American way? I mean, in Houston, after Best Buy was selling a case of water for $42.96.
What should the price be?
What it is.
No, well, how was the price determined previously?
What the market value? What's going on market value?
And why should that change?
I just think we're Americans. Human beings, we should help each other out. If you're thirsty and you've got the money for that case of water, no, without price gouging. You should sell it to them what it was priced at before the hurricane.
So you're fine with the market price prior to the hurricane?
I'm saying during a hurricane, you shouldn't capitalize on people who are in need.
How is that capitalizing? Explain this. Explain this. The empty shelves. So what about the people?
Stock boy better get busy.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're out of water. So the point is to say when the next person comes to shop at Walmart and they didn't get there in time for the water because Walmart wasn't, in your words, capitalizing on people's need. What about the people who got no water and the people that hoarded water? Or should the government step in and confiscate all the water and ration it? It's very easy to make these to take these cheap shots and to say who cares about other people and who doesn't. I care about people because I want people to pay a lower price for water. Okay, when you do that, then you preclude a whole host of people from getting any water.
Okay, what they should have done in this case in Tampa at this store on the picture on Reddit, they should have limit 2, please. I mean, when you have coupons, I know you don't go grocery shopping, but when we do, we have coupons and there's limit 2 or limit 3. With water in a hurricane situation, they should say limit 4 or limit 5. They should put a limit so that she's not hoarding the water from other people who need it.
You should be in charge of all the grocery stores. You should be the grocery stores are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be. So that you can tell these businesses who operate on very thin margins, it's a volume business, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew. I don't go to grocery stores, but I understand
but
economics.
I'm just saying, right, but sometimes they limit 2. That's
No, but sometimes. Who determines that? That can't be part of their business model. They need the grocery store czar to tell them when they can limit to and what they can limit to, and maybe sometimes they can go up to 4, but the grocery store czar is going to have to decide that. And when the people come in, because grocery store czars have been tried in other countries, totalitarian ones, and what do they create? The grocery store czar turns out not to be omniscient, and so it creates these same kinds of shortages. So when you come into the Walmart as a general rule, not during a crisis, not during a hurricane, and you also can't get water, what's the grocery stores are supposed to do then? What's the explanation to the people who can't get water? These are people in need, and you can't get water at any price because you've artificially created scarcity. But you feel good about yourself. And the most important thing in 21st century America is feeling good about myself in the moment, not actually helping people, not actually making sense, not actually doing any due diligence, just emoting.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
New Seattle Seahawks defensive end Michael Bennett is lying at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
58 outside, cloudy skies. We've had some light rain showers this morning. And as Dan and Amy have told you this morning, the U.S. military is moving ships, supplies, equipment, and troops into place before Irma slams into Florida. The storm expected to begin pounding the peninsula this weekend.
It is wider than our entire state and could cause major and life-threatening impacts from coast to coast. Regardless of which coast you live on, be prepared to evacuate.
Florida Governor Rick Scott, the Navy putting 2 amphibious ships and Marines in place so they can help if requested. Megan Karugulu lived through Andrew and says she is prepared to ride out Irma at home.
I'm a little bit scared. I wasn't at the beginning of the week, but the panic has set in now, and I'm getting nervous.
Irma laid waste to low-lying Turks and Caicos late yesterday before pushing through the Bahamas early this morning. The storm has killed more than a dozen, injuring far more, and driven thousands from their homes. Irma is not the only dangerous storm boiling in the Atlantic. Jose, now up to major hurricane status, and could follow Irma through the Caribbean into Florida. Katia bearing down on Mexico's east coast. And in Mexico, 5 are dead after a magnitude 8.1 earthquake rocked southern Mexico. The quake that hit shortly before midnight caused buildings to sway in Mexico City, 480 miles away. 140 million Americans could be impacted by a credit reporting data hack. Equifax credit reporting firms say they discovered the breach July 29th. That leaked information including names, birth dates, social security numbers, addresses, and credit card numbers. Customers are being alerted by email if their information was included in the breach. Federal appeals court dealing another blow to President Trump's travel ban. The Ninth Circuit ruling that grandparents, cousins, and some other close relatives of those living in the U.S. should not be totally banned from traveling to the U.S. under the executive order barring travel from 6 mostly Muslim countries. An investigation continues here after 3 were found shot to death in a Joliet home. Mayor Emanuel trying to sell Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos on the idea of building a second home in Chicago. Family and friends are mourning the death of a former Chicago police officer shot in the line of duty nearly 3 decades ago. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says 66-year-old Bernard Domagala died of a result of injuries suffered in that shooting in 1988. Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2. White Sox open up a 3-game set with the Giants tonight on the south side after falling to the Indians 11-2. The news service of Cabela's. Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Save $70 on Savage 111 Trophy Rifle Scope packages and get 40% off Herder's men's and women's youth camo clothing. Plus, $20 off a Centerpoint Sniper 370 camo crossbow package. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's not time to play politics.
I run away from the politicizing of natural disasters. I hate political gamesmanship that people engage in. This is not a time for that. Right now, the people of Texas need our help, need our prayers, and we don't need to point any fingers of blame.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Come in and find great deals on the latest hunting gear and apparel. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too. Until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
536. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Like on the north side of Chicago, a nasty overnight wreck has Halstead still blocked off between North Avenue and Willow. Halstead and North Avenue buses are being rerouted around this. Edens looks fine, the Kennedy as well. Inbound Eisenhower, now of mild delays, 25th to Harlem. 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound fine at 29. Stevenson is 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound fine at 34. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 424. Tri-State, southbound at 127th, a crash to the right lane. Northbound, heavy 394 to I-80, where overnight work is late in clearing. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic, the service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for limited time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast, partly sunny and cool, 66 for a high temp. Partly cloudy for your high school football tonight, low 52. Sunshine and 70 tomorrow. Currently 59 at O'Hare, 62 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you know,
What's
I try.
wrong?
I tell you, I want to get to Michael Bennett in a second. A tweet. What about the poor who can't afford $40 for water? Screw them. Survival of the richest. Not cool in my book. That is not the case. If people could just get over themselves for a second and look at the issue. We were just talking during the break, Mike Scott telling us Home Depot, $50-gallon water jugs for $5.
Yeah, but good luck carrying 50 gallons of water. I mean, that's a juggernaut. You're going to need people to help transport that kind of water. But right.
Did you hear the hand slapping to my head? Yes. The idea is to plan ahead. The idea is to have 50 gallons of water.
Yeah, but not everybody's smart enough to plan ahead. And a lot of people think, oh, by the time it reaches Florida, it'll be a Category 3 or 2 and we'll be fine. It's called thinning of the herd. If they're dumb enough not to prepare or even to fill their
social Darwinist.
No, but while you're at home, fill up your bathtub, fill every jug you have with water. So there's your water supply.
Yes, so obviously
before the water becomes tainted or may not even work.
Water wasn't always at this price, so you could have planned ahead. You can take it from the tap and get a $5 50-gallon jug to survive until you evacuate to a place that will have water or will have water at pre-hurricane prices. I mean, do people think at all, or do you just react? And this Twitter is a conservative. At least a Trump conservative, tweeting that survival of the richest, screw them. That's actually quite the opposite. You're not on your own side because you haven't followed your own logic, and you haven't thought for 1 second about economic realities in this world of scarcity in which we live. Never enough of everything that people want. Is that complicated? Snap out of it. Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett's defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's right. I am sick of it.
I know. Okay.
Because this has implications for everything that we talk about. And it's, of course, Pam Bondi, Republican, and other politicians who are running to your rescue. The government price gougers. You want to be the price setters. How are they the price gougers? Have you seen your tax bills lately? Let's run to them. They'll know.
They'll save us.
I mean, get a grip. Golly. What's wrong with people? These are people who should know better. People who actually have firing synapses, or they wouldn't be listening to this show. Good grief. Michael Bennett.
I'll sell you a gallon of water.
Yeah.
I have water stored, by the way.
That's
great. So when you're thirsty, you just come over and ask Peyton and Eli for some water.
Thanks.
They'll charge you $100.
I'll make sure to plan ahead when Hurricane Irma hits Lake Michigan. Okay. So Michael Bennett, he's standout defensive end for the Seahawks. He went to the McGregor-Mayweather fight in Vegas a couple weeks back.
Yeah, who didn't?
And then he tweeted out this letter about an incident between him and Las Vegas police on that Saturday night, August 26th. This is just the other day. On Saturday, August 26th, I was in Vegas, attended Mayweather-McGregor fight on my day off. After the fight, while heading back to my hotel, several hundred people heard what sounded like gunshots. Like many of the people in the area, I ran away from the sound looking for safety. The Las Vegas police officers singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. Police officer ordered me to get on the ground. As I laid on the ground, complying with me, he placed a gun near my head and warned me that if I moved, he would blow my effing head off. Terrified and confused by what was taking place, a second officer came over and forcefully jammed his knee into my back, making it difficult for me to breathe. They then cinched the handcuffs on my wrists so tight that my fingers went numb. The officer's excessive use of force was unbearable. I felt helpless as I lay on the ground, handcuffed, facing the real-life threat of being killed. My life flashed before my eyes as I thought of my girls. Would I ever play with them again? I kept asking officers what did I do and reminding them that I had rights they were duty-bound to respect. Then they ignored my pleas and instead told me to shut up and then took me back to the back of a nearby police car where I sat for what felt like an eternity until they apparently realized I wasn't a thug, common criminal, or ordinary black man, but Michael Bennett, a famous professional football player. I was ultimately released without any legitimate
after confirming my
justification.
identity, he was released without being charged.
He goes on to say, the system failed me. I can only imagine what Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Charlena Lyles felt, as if all those cases were the same. I've retained Oakland civil rights attorney John Burris to investigate and explore all my legal options, including filing a civil rights lawsuit for the violation of my constitutional rights. So there's Michael Bennett's story. Here's the rest of the story. The Las Vegas.
Did you watch the video?
Yes. Yeah. Las Vegas police, though, are going through 125 pieces of video from cameras all over the place, as well as cell phone videos that are being submitted, and they're soliciting more. But there is partial video that includes Michael Bennett being arrested.
I wasn't doing nothing, man. You ain't asking me a question. I was here with my friends. They told us to get out. Everybody ran. Did you ask me a question, sir? Okay, man. Put hands together.
So he was on top of him at the time with his knee in his back, handcuffing him, and then that's why you heard him say, put your hands together, as apparently Bennett was resisting, or at least he was having trouble handcuffing him. There was no gun to the head, by the way, in that video, which is just a snippet of it. But
don't you see the officer's weapon? I could have sworn when I watched it, I saw the officer's weapon. Who was on top of him?
No. And in addition to that, you don't hear the officer say anything of the sort that Michael Bennett alleged that he said. The deputy sheriff for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, Kevin McMahill, had a press conference yesterday because Michael Bennett, the only way they found out about Michael Bennett's story is Michael Bennett posting it on Twitter. He didn't say anything that night. He has not filed a complaint against the officers in question as of yet. Here's Kevin McMahill giving you more details on what happened that night.
At 1:30 a.m. on the 27th, approximately 3 hours after the boxing match ended, an active shooter call came into the LVMPD Communications Center that originated outside of the Dre's nightclub at the Cromwell. Metro officers immediately responded to the scene and encountered thousands of patrons in the casino and nightclub. As officers entered the casino floor, they were met with large groups of people running for cover, laying on the ground hiding, and people screaming. Casino signage, chairs, and stanchions were knocked over inside of the casino. With very little information as to who the shooter was or the shooter's location, our officers pushed past the fleeing crowds and began immediately converging on the reported threat. One of the teams that cleared the casino then exited the casino at the door to regroup and were redirected back towards the Dre's nightclub inside of the casino. As they moved towards the nightclub, an individual later identified as Bennett was seen crouched down behind a gaming machine as the officers approached. Once Bennett was in the officer's view, he quickly ran out of the south doors, jumped over a wall onto Flamingo Road east of Las Vegas Boulevard into traffic. Due to Bennett's actions and the information the officers had at the time, they believed Bennett may have been involved in the shooting, and they gave chase. Bennett was placed into handcuffs and detained while officers determined whether or not he was involved in the original incident. He was detained for approximately 10 minutes and released. Mr. Bennett at the scene had the incident explained to him by a supervisor, and he said that he understood and that he had no problem with what the officers did, just the one that he claimed the officer had pointed a gun at his head.
I'm looking at the video right now on TMZ Sports. There were two officers. One is up on that balcony that he just jumped over onto Flamingo Road with a gun out.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but that's when he says they were pointing at my head. I can see him. They were, 10 feet away, but it was not, point blank range. I think if he was a white guy, he would have never have gotten arrested. But he's a black guy, big, wearing a plaid gray shirt. I know your head's going to explode today, but I'm siding with him on this one.
So here's the full video that they played, 5 minutes of it yesterday. Here's what you see. You see them responding to a call, running down the boulevard into the casino. You've got a phalanx of about 6 officers that are in formation per a response to an active shooter call, which is what it was, what they thought it was. It turned out not to be, but that's what they thought it was. That's what the call was. Each of them has their left hand on the shoulder of the officer in front of them with their guns drawn because they're going in as a unit because they believe it's an active shooter. And you see hundreds of people running out of that casino and them clearing hundreds of people. Get out, get out, get out, pushing people past them to get out as they run to where they think there could be an active shooter. The people rushing out are black and white, mostly black, and Hispanic. So you got that issue to address in terms of your, racial conspiracy theory with respect to Michael Bennett. In addition to that, because their guns are still already out, their guns are out as they've entered the casino, and they're trying to clear it and identify if there is an active shooter. Yeah, so then somebody jackrabbits Michael Bennett, and they give chase because they think, as you heard the deputy sheriff say, he may have been involved. So, yeah, the officer still has his gun out from having his gun out as they entered the casino because they thought it could be an active shooter situation. Here's the portion of it where Bennett runs, and they see him run, and so they give chase.
There's one running. Goes out the door.
What are you doing? Do you have a gun?
Watch closely to go over the wall right to the left here.
Move.
The point is the video is not much better than the audio, but the point is it's a chaotic situation. You have people screaming, you have people running, you have stanchions turned over in the casino and so forth because of the melee, the belief that it was an active shooter situation. And and then Bennett darts out from behind a slot machine. And I'm not saying that Bennett was wrong to do that.
Well, he's probably scared.
Possibly. I'm not saying he was wrong to do that. He's like, I want to get out too. I hear people screaming and running. I want to get out too. Okay.
And they're ordering people, get out.
Yeah. But they're not only people run out and then they chase him and call after him before they apprehend him. That's a little different because they didn't do that with the other hundreds of people that exited the casino, did they?
No, it was an overzealous cop. He wasn't charged with anything anyway, and he didn't have a weapon. So clearly it was a case of mistaken identity where they took him down.
No, it wasn't a mistaken identity. They didn't have any identity. How could it be mistaken identity? They thought he may have been involved in whatever they were in the active shooter call. They thought he may have been involved, so they gave chase. That's what you do, and then you ascertain whether he was or not, which is what they did. How is this an overzealous cop? McCahill goes on to report on the evidence or lack thereof of the allegations that Bennett made after the fact.
Listen, many of the folks today have called this an incident of bias-based policing. Police officers focus solely on the race of an individual that they are going to stop. I can tell you as I stand here today, I see no evidence of that. I see no evidence that race played any role in this incident. In fact, as you'll notice throughout this video as I play for you, while officers were searching the casino, they were able to safely evacuate many patrons of all races. It's also important for me to note to you, both of the officers involved in this incident in question are of Hispanic origin. I'd also like for Mr. Bennett, along with his legal counsel, to contact our internal affairs and provide a formal statement detailing his allegations. As I said, we opened the internal affairs case without his complaint.
By the way, his attorney, Burris from Oakland, the civil rights attorney he hired, also said it doesn't have anything to do with race. Oh.
He did?
Oh.
Isn't that why he hired the civil rights attorney?
We'll pick this up after the news.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's V-A-N-S industrial.com. Vans Industrial. Customizing for you, the customer.
Just reading, to be specific about the Oakland civil rights attorney, John Burris. Attorney for Michael Bennett says race wasn't a factor in the arrest, but lack of probable cause was, so he may file civil rights lawsuit on that basis. Yeah. So it's the Michael Bennett story has a lot of filling in to do, I would say. After your choice of spouse, where you send your kids to school is the most important decision you make. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School. It's an independent Catholic school for boys in grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models who get to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Underlined. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 school in America from U.S. News. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house. That's October 22nd. To learn more about the October 22nd open house, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now, we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
5:56. Let's get an update on the ride to work this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the north side, Holstead Street remains closed between North Avenue and Willow due to a major overnight wreck. Kennedy inbound, heavy out of the River Road toll to Canfield. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Edens is delay-free. On Eisenhower, slow Manheim to Harlem and Ashland to the Burn Circle. 36 minutes from Thorndale to the post office downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson inbound delay start at Harlem. 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. On Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 423. 8094 westbound, it's slow from Calumet Avenue in Munster onto the northbound Tri-State. This is due to road work late picking up on the northbound Tri-State at I-80. Well, it's a fairly long delay now. Traffic at the service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep at your local Jeep dealer. Get the best deals of the year on the award-winning lineup. But don't wait. 1 week to Jeep ends soon. Hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Garrett Beck.
It'll be sunny this weekend. Today it'll be partly sunny and cool, high 67. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy with a low 53. Tomorrow and Sunday, sun, high both days, 70. I'm Garrett Beck on AM 560, The Answer.
The news, a service of Staples. With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need, delivered next day free on eligible items only and orders over $49.99. Placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples, it's pro time. Coming up on 5:59, here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. An investigation is underway after 3 were found shot to death in a Joliet home. Mayor Emanuel trying to sell Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos on the idea of building a second home in Chicago. 2 more Illinois Air National Guard teams and their planes headed to the danger zone. Guard commanders sending a pair of C-130 Hercules aircraft out of Peoria, one to the U.S. Virgin Islands, the other staging in Maryland, ready for Hurricane Irma to make landfall. Governor Bruce Rauner ready to pay off some of the state's old bills. Governor yesterday announcing a borrowing plan to pay down some of the $15 billion backlog. Anthony Rizzo on base in all 4 of his at-bats as the Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2. Indians pushed their winning streak to a franchise record 15. They beat the White Sox 11-2. 58 right now. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
She's slightly weaker. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hurricane Irma down to a Category 4 with 155-mile-an-hour wind, but that's just too shy of making it a Cat 5.
Don't want to let your guard down because we're still dealing with a very strong, potentially catastrophic storm.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean says Irma could strengthen again as it moves over warmer water.
This will impact the Florida Keys and South Florida as possibly a worst-case scenario with the worst of the storm surge, the worst of the winds, the worst of the rainfall.
It'll hit early Sunday, then move up the entire state into Georgia and South Carolina. The storm prep continues. This man just found a gas station in Miami that still has gas.
I just saw that there was like a very small line, and I just came over and
trying to fill up just for my generator more than anything.
Tanker trucks had police escorts helping resupply stations in Florida. Irma is hitting the Bahamas now at battered Turks and Caicos overnight. It has left a lot of destruction across the Caribbean, at least 11 deaths reported. Still a lot to clean up in Texas from Harvey, and Congress is offering a lot more disaster aid. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The Senate overwhelmingly backed a $15 billion aid package for victims of Harvey, nearly doubling President Trump's emergency request. The House votes on the measure today. Meanwhile, President Trump says the U.S. military has begun preparing in earnest for Hurricane Irma, readying 4 Navy ships for potential disaster relief.
We don't know exactly where it's going to be landing, where landfall will be, but we think we're as well prepared as you can possibly be.
The president has already issued state of emergency declarations in Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Dave?
John, the earthquake off the southern coast of Mexico, a powerful magnitude 8.1. Buildings and homes collapsed. At least 5 people are dead.
The tsunami warning centers are issuing a threat level message for the coast up and down Mexico, down through El Salvador.
Jessica Turner at the USGS. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%. APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that.
that, you don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy. 630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky?
Call Grumweedy. 630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy. 630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy?
Call Grumweedy. 630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems.
Get it done before the winter comes.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number? 630-595-8020. 630-595-8020. Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy we're going to have to get back to the Michael Bennett story, and we will, because we have to adjudicate that case based on what we know to this point. But we've got a lot of other matters to on our docket as well, including DACA. And on that issue, one Steve Bannon, the Sith Lord. He speaketh. He's on 60 Minutes this Sunday. Sat down with Charlie Rose. And, of course, they're teasing out portions of the interview where Steve Bannon speaks very frankly about the Catholic Church, about the secular political leadership in Congress. And here's what he had to say when it pertains to the church and the church's support of DACA.
Look what he did on DACA the other day. Okay, I don't agree with that DACA decision, but I understand how he struggled with it. I understand how he's giving a possibility of a legislative thing, and he said even last night in a tweet, he would rethink it. Trust me, the guys on the far right, the guys on the conservative side are not happy with this.
Can I remind you, a good Catholic, that Cardinal Dolan is opposed to what's happening with DACA. Cardinal Dolan.
The Catholic Church has been terrible about this.
Okay, fair
The bishops have been terrible about this. By the way, you know why? Because unable to really to come to grips with the problems in the church, they need illegal aliens. They need illegal aliens to fill the churches. It's obvious on the face of it. That's what the entire Catholic bishops condemning. They have an economic interest. They have an economic interest in unlimited immigration, unlimited illegal immigration. And as much as
that's a tough thing to say about your church.
As much as I respect Cardinal Dolan and the bishops on doctrine, this is not doctrine. This is not doctrine at all. I totally respect the Pope, and I totally respect the Catholic bishops and cardinals on doctrine. This is not about doctrine. This is about the sovereignty of a nation. And in that regard, they're just another guy with an opinion.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't call myself a good Catholic. I'm an aspiring good Catholic, but I agree with Bannon on that. If I want to hear from Cardinal Cupich, or frankly Cardinal Dolan or Pope Francis, I want to hear them from them about the catechism.
Not social issues or immigration issues?
Well, there's no expertise as labor economists, as Cardinal Supich plays sometimes with the $15 minimum wage. They're not climatologists, as many of the bishops play when they talk about climate change.
But isn't Christianity about helping the less fortunate and people that have been living in the shadows, living in fear of getting deported? Don't they need our prayers and support?
Of course they do. So now that we've said that's our mission, we have a policy discussion about how to achieve that mission. Okay. And that's what Bannon is saying. And he's right. Now, Cardinal Dolan, who's, of course, the Archbishop of New York, said in response to Bannon's comments, quote, "I don't really care to go into what I think is a preposterous and rather insulting statement that the only reason we bishops care for immigrants is for the economic because we want to fill our churches and get more money. That's insulting, and it's just so ridiculous it does not merit a comment." All right. Well,
which is a comment.
Hopefully we can solicit comments from our next guest because that's what we do on this show. And he is, of course, our friend Andy McCarthy, contributing editor to National Review, former federal prosecutor. He has written a piece to end DACA, follow the Constitution, which I think we should discuss with him. Andy, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. So to end DACA, follow the Constitution, well, that implies that DACA has not been ended. And from everything I've heard from the big government press corps in D.C., DACA has been ended, and we should all be hysterical, and Donald Trump is a racist tyrant.
Well, DACA hasn't been ended. We are hysterical, and I don't think Trump is a racist tyrant, but I don't think he cares much about the Constitution.
Okay. So let me follow your argument. DACA has not been ended, but if you want to end it in an orderly fashion, which is the pronouncement by the administration through Jeff Sessions this week, 6 months to act.
That's not following the Constitution. That's why what Trump should have done is what he said he was going to do during the campaign, which is end it on the first day.
Okay.
He should have ended it on the first day. Why?
Well, first of all, because he said he would, so there is something to be said for that. Okay. No, but secondly, the way that you do that, the reason for ending DACA is that DACA violated the Constitution in two ways. First, it gave positive legal benefits to illegal aliens, which the president doesn't have the power under the Constitution to do. It's not a question of whether we think, as a policy matter, that we're sympathetic to the idea that these people should get work permits and the ability to attend school. There's a lot of people who might believe that. I may very well be one of them, at least if the category of the so-called dreamers were drawn narrowly enough. But whatever we think policy-wise, that's a power of Congress. It's not a power of the president. The president doesn't have the power to do that. So if you're going to end DACA because DACA is unconstitutional, by what authority do you continue it for the last 8 months, and by what authority do you continue it for the next 6 months? If the issue is that the president doesn't have the power to do this, then how does he continue the program?
He doesn't have the power to continue it. Yeah, okay.
Right. So the issue is, what do you do about it? Number one, you say, we're not going to issue any new work permits, and we're not going to continue registering people for other legal benefits under the program, not because we think you people don't merit it, but because the president doesn't have the power to do this. Congress has to do this. And secondly, you do an honest constitutional application of prosecutorial discretion, not what Obama did, and if I can explain the difference. Prosecutorial discretion is just a resource allocation doctrine. We have more crime than we have resources to prosecute crime, so you have to prioritize which ones you are going to give the most attention to and which get little or no attention. And what I think Trump could have said is that we're going to assign a low enforcement priority to people who are in the dreamer category, but doing prosecutorial discretion the right way, that's going to be actually decided on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, but he didn't do that, and that created hysteria throughout the country, especially with the 800,000 people and their family and friends who did not want them deported.
Right. Well, I don't understand. If they're hysterical, they're hysterical. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's going to be deported.
Yeah, but I'm saying President Trump should have been judicious and humanitarian in a way that he said it. It seemed just to, put everybody on edge and wonder who's going to come knocking at the door.
How would that have been if he did it on day one without a window of opportunity? It would have been much more hysteria. Do we determine what we do as a matter of law based on the amount of hysteria in the body politic? That's a silly way to govern, isn't it?
Well, but we got people who are going to be hysterical no matter what, and the fact that Trump is the overlay here will make them even more hysterical. And I think the only thing that you can do is do the right thing under the Constitution the best way you can, and hope that, notwithstanding the fact that you are assured in this climate to get overwrought, hysterical overreaction, that over time, as people see that you're enforcing the law properly and humanely, that the hysteria dies down and people start to realize, gee, this wasn't as bad as they said.
Okay, but if Congress acts as they have indicated they will, because this really gets them animated, the ordinary concerns of longstanding American citizens don't get them quite as excited. But they're excited about this, so if they act and they pass something approximating the DREAM Act, something that provides for permanent status to the DACA designees, that is not a constitutional problem, is it?
No, of course it's not. In fact, I don't think now that they will enact anything, because the thing to do here, to my mind, the smart thing to do here was to drop the program as Trump said he was going to do it, and to do it in the way I described, and then to use the sympathy that is widespread for something like the DREAM Act in a compromise over immigration, which gets you some tighter border controls and tighter immigration enforcement. Unfortunately, with his tweets of the last couple of days and the deal that he's cut with Pelosi and Schumer and the new bipartisanship that he seems to be trying to forge, I think what he's done is give away all of his leverage here. So if I were the Democrats, what I would tell the Republicans, either codify, that is, enact the DREAM Act with no compromises, just do it flat out that way, or Trump has basically said he'll revisit this in 6 months if Congress hasn't acted. So if you're the Democrats, why would you negotiate? Because you know that either of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to get everything you want legislatively, or Trump is going to continue this program just like Obama did.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, you may not need to negotiate, though, with Republicans. I mean, that may be their advantage. They have kind of full-on surrender from the majority of the Republican caucuses.
Well, look, we know that between the Washington establishment Republicans and the Democrats, there's certainly enough votes in Congress to pass something like the DREAM Act, which is why we on the right, who are interested in border security and immigration controls, wanted this negotiated in a way that you didn't give away all your leverage, and we got things like E-Verify and better border security and some of the things that are in the Cotton-Purdue legislation. And I think right now, the way this is played, it's not going to happen.
But don't you think President Trump sided with the Democrats to further and to push Hurricane Harvey relief?
No, I don't think the Democrats would have stopped Hurricane Harvey relief if push came to shove. I think Trump sided with the Democrats because he didn't like the press coverage he was getting, and nothing for someone who cares more about coverage than policy. There's nothing on earth better than being a Republican who bashes other Republicans while accommodating Democrats. So I expect to see more of it.
Well, that's true. He's taken a page out of the McCain book, hasn't he? He wanted to just switch topics, get your take on this. This used to be a story just a couple of weeks ago. It's not much of a story anymore. Even the big government press corps in D.C. seems to be losing interest and diminishing the resources they contribute to covering the Russian collusion story. Yesterday, FBI Director Christopher Wray said, I can say very confidently that I have not detected any whiff of interference with that investigation, referring to the Russian collusion investigation. Another NBC story about the meeting between Jared Kushner and Don Jr. and the Russian attorney that regarding campaign donations has fallen apart, so they're kind of quietly walking away from that. And Don Jr.'s statement released to the New York Times got a copy of it yesterday. It basically says, I took that meeting because I was looking for information about Hillary's fitness for office. Okay, fine, that's politics. So what is the status of the Russian collusion investigation? It seems pretty clear that, yeah, they may get Manafort for financial violations of the law that are unrelated to the Trump campaign. They may get Michael Flynn for violations related to his business practices. But they're not anywhere close to anything resembling what has been alleged of President Trump or those in his inner circle.
Well, I've always thought that as far as collusion is concerned, that unless you had two things, you have very strong evidence that they haven't put out to this point, that Russia actually is clearly responsible for the theft of the information. And I am of a mind to accept the intelligence community's pronouncement on this, but the fact that I would accept that or we would accept it, and whether they could prove it in a court of law, two entirely different things. So if they don't put out strong evidence of that, you're dealing on a rickety foundation to begin with. And then the second element they would need is some indication that there was knowing cooperation in that specific espionage effort by people connected to the Trump campaign. And I don't think there's ever been a scintilla of evidence for that. Now, all that said, Mueller has hired, 15, 16? This special counsel thing is like the biggest government employment project in years.
Sure, got to keep those
so he's hired lots and lots of very aggressive, very smart, very left-leaning prosecutors, and they have subpoena power and they have grand jury power, and they are combing through people's financial records and all that stuff. And the history of these special counsel investigations is that they don't necessarily end at the same place where they start, right? They don't end up prosecuting the crime that was the justification for having the special counsel in the first place. But somewhere down the road, they find somebody did something, and because there's a lot of pressure on them to bring some charge to justify their existence, they often do that. So I don't think, if I were Trump and the people around him, I wouldn't feel out of the woods yet. But I've never really thought there was much to the collusion story.
All right. He is Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor and contributing editor to National Review Online. You check out his most recent piece on DACA. To end DACA, follow the Constitution at nationalreview.com. Andy, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a great weekend.
You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
He's the best, Andrew McCarthy. Forecast for today, you might think it's the best too if you like cool, crisp weather. It's going to be partly sunny skies, a high of 66 degrees, and your weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, plenty of sunshine, a high of 70. And on Sunday for the Bears-Falcons game along the lakefront, noon kickoff, you're going to have plenty of sunshine and a high of 70 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. North side Halstead remains closed between North Avenue and Willow after a major overnight wreck. The Edens is just a little heavy inbound approaching the junction. Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Eisenhower, inbound delays start at Manheim. 42 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, fine outbound. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 421. If delays on 8094 on the westbound side, Calumet Avenue up the northbound Tri-State to Holstead, where overnight road work was late in clearing. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. here, covering state policy and politics. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, long-form interviews on Against the Current, Follow Logic, Man on the Street segments this week, asking Illinoisans to follow the logic of Governor Rauner's decision to sign sanctuary state legislation, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which is professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient issues of the day. And don't forget to check out our website, defendhomeowners.com. Defendhomeowners.com, where you can get a free property tax report on your home if you're an Illinois family.
Hey, did you mention Illinois state? I mean, is Illinois a sanctuary state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone told me that Rauner signed a bill that makes Illinois a sanctuary state.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
Oh, my God. What was he thinking?
Yeah, we're still trying to process that, Steve.
All the illegal immigrants come into Illinois. We're open for business. I mean, how... Jesus, to make the state a sanctuary city, I mean, you're basically inviting illegal immigrants in your state. It's crazy.
So Steve Moore could not follow the logic. And see how if everyday Illinoisans did any better. Visit upstream-ideas.com. If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
Homeowners, if the tire on your car goes flat, you fix it. If your heater breaks down, you fix it. Right now, if your home has low water pressure, or you get scalded in the shower when someone flushes, or you or your neighbors have already had leaks, in other words, your pipes aren't working, you can get them fixed too, in as little as 1 day. I'm Jeff Butler, owner of Repipe Specialists. For a limited time on approved credit, when you repipe with us, we'll give you 0% interest for an entire year. That's right, a repipe, wall patching, and a lifetime guarantee, all at 0% interest. Get great pressure, clean, clear water, be able to take a shower, and run the washing machine at the same time. We've helped over 30,000 homeowners just like you get new, high-quality pipes without a fuss. So repipe with us, and you too can enjoy great water pressure in your home with a lifetime guarantee.
Just call 800-216-0130. That's 800-216-0130. 800-216-0130.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, hey, just real quick, better mind your P's and Q's at a certain Taco Bell in Cleveland. Two armed robbers came into a Cleveland Taco Bell, and
did somebody say drop the chalupa?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
they dropped the chalupa.
There was more than a Spanish-speaking Chihuahua behind the counter. There were armed Taco Bell employees.
Good for them.
Who fired on the armed robbers, killing one of the two as they tried to make a run for the border. A Taco Bell spokesman told Cleveland the company is shocked by the shooting and has offered counseling to the employees.
No, I'd offer counseling to the survivor.
I'd offer
in jail.
I'd offer a party to honor the heroic Taco Bell employees who responded to an armed robbery and protected their colleagues in the process.
Better all be employees of the month.
All right.
And get raises. Good for them.
I think I'm going to have some Taco Bell after the show in their honor. Oh, by the way, and thank you, Carlos, from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, yeah, for your donut.
The Dunkin' Donuts on Elston and Addison.
Carlos.
For my donut this morning. I appreciate that.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Democrats increasingly comfortable with religious tests for public officials at 6:36.
And later, get out while you can. That's the message from Florida officials. We'll have an update on Hurricane Irma. But first, into the newsroom we go for more updates on that storm. Here is Mike Scott.
Irma is weakening a bit. We'll get to that story in a moment. We're going to start in southern Mexico, reeling from its biggest earthquake in a century. A magnitude 8.1 quake has killed 5, triggered tsunami waves on Mexico's Pacific coast. That quake struck off the southern coast of Mexico late last night, felt as far away as Mexico City and Guatemala. Multiple aftershocks have hit this morning, many as strong as 5.0. 2 million people without power, and we've just received word through the Associated Press that residents in Puerto Madero in Chiapas are being evacuated due to a strong tsunami alert. Hurricane Irma weakening a little. Storm still very life-threatening as the National Hurricane Center has downgraded that storm to Category 4. Pentagon moving ships and supplies, troops and equipment into position in Florida before Irma slams into the peninsula this weekend. And the 5 living former U.S. presidents are joining together to help with hurricane relief. The fundraising effort is called One America Appeal. It went national last night.
Hurricane Harvey brought terrible destruction, but it also brought out the best in humanity.
As former presidents, we want to help our fellow Americans begin to recover.
Our friends in Texas, including Presidents Bush 41 and 43, are doing just that.
Funds will assist, and recovery efforts for Harvey will be enabled and will be extended to those impacted by Irma as well. Republican and Democrat members of the House expected later today to take up a new health insurance reform plan to try and fix the failing Obamacare. It aims to stabilize the individual health insurance market, boost states' flexibility to unwind Obamacare coverage requirements, and hold down rising premiums. An investigation continues after 3 were found shot to death in a Joliet home. 16-year-old boy in serious condition, shot by Chicago police on the west side after a chase. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle under extreme pressure and offering a very weak defense of the county's controversial sweetened beverage tax yesterday. Public calls for its repeal are growing louder. Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2. Indians have won 15 straight. They beat the White Sox 11-2. The news, a service of Cabela's. Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Save $70 on a Savage 111 Trophy Rifle Scope package and get 40% off Herder's men's and women's and youth camo clothing. Plus, get $20 off a Centerpoint Sniper 370 camo crossbow package. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com. 6:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is tired of watching the president get torn down.
They hate him. They hate the fact that he won. They're trying to overturn the election. That's what it's about. It's painful to live in a world that is yelling that the emperor is wearing gorgeous clothing and is naked and really suffering from pneumonia. But that's what's happening.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Come in and find great deals on the latest hunting gear and apparel.
Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
One thing I know for sure, that so many of our listeners get a great night's sleep, and that's because so many of you have purchased MyPillows. You've saved a lot of money, and if you don't sleep on a MyPillow, I suggest you act now. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You can move the fill to give you the support you need regardless of sleep position, and you won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash them and dry them. They are hypoallergenic, and there's a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. The founder of MyPillow, Mike Lindell, is a true patriot, and he's generous. He donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. So get your 50% off the 4-pack in September by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
6:36 and a check of your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the north side, Holstead remains closed between North Avenue and Willow after an overnight wreck. The Edens runs 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound the same now. Kennedy, 37 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Quicker in the locals than the Express. There was a crash at Ohio and Orleans just cleared. And Ohio feeders all jammed up. Outbound 28 minutes from downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 33. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 5. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. 8094 westbound heavy Calumet Avenue to the northbound tri-state at Holstead, where overnight work was late in clearing. Traffic is a service of TrueCar. With TrueCar, you can see what others paid for the car you want, so you can recognize a great deal. TrueCar users save on average over $3,000 off MSRP for new or used cars. Visit TrueCar for a more confident car buying experience. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and cool. Will top out at 66. Partly cloudy and 52 overnight. In Chicago, currently 59. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
The hypocrites scatter when I shine the bright light of reason. I'm Larry Elder. Join me tonight at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, isn't this interesting?
Yeah.
How the worm turns. It is potentially set to repeal the Cook County sugary beverage tax.
Oh, looky there.
Boy, that didn't last so long.
No, because you know what? People are pissed, if I can say that, and I'm one of them, because I won't even buy sugary sodas, or I won't even, I can't even buy Gatorade. That's something that's quasi-healthy for my kids, because I don't want to give any more money to feed the beast. I'm done. I'm tapped. I've been getting water.
So this may come before the county board next week to repeal the penny per ounce tax that went into effect on August 2nd and has generated outrage among Cook County residents, otherwise numb to being fleeced by their elected officials, such that Preckwinkle has really been politically hurt and maybe politically vulnerable at minimum to a primary challenge. And other Cook County commissioners are feeling the heat as well with respect to Preckwinkle herself. Queen Sugar.
You call her Queen? I call her Queen Grady.
Of course. I mean, as I said, Big Soda is spending a fortune because I know this is ground zero.
She didn't like the PSAs that are out, saying that the soda tax isn't about your health. It's about a money grab.
Queen Sugar, I hat tip to Mays Jackson and Charles Thomas over at WVON. That's their name first. So I allow them.
That's great.
I gave them the licensing rights to Tiny Dancer, and they gave me the licensing rights to Queen Sugar. So what about Queen Sugar's sweetened beverage tax? Should the Cook County repeal that? And if they repeal that beverage tax, which sparked this revolt in a way that, I don't know, confiscatory property taxes and income taxes and corporate income taxes and regulatory overreach in Chicago and Cook County and Illinois hasn't. Is everything right with the world again? Because we've done this before. And, I mean, when I say we, I mean the Cook County electorate. Preckwinkle, Queen Sugar, elected. I'm going to repeal the Todd Stroger sales tax increase.
Oh, yeah.
And because she spoke in complete sentences, everybody genuflected before Queen Sugar. Then she repealed, with the Cook County Board, the Stroger sales tax increase until she reinstated it.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's advanced this sugary drink tax. And now, because of the backlash, she's going to move, it looks, to repeal it. So we're going to continue to just kind of get jerked back and forth and be in the fold when they respond to the outrage over a 1% percentage point increase in the sales tax or a penny per ounce soda tax. And then when they repeal it or some other Democrat comes in to just capitalize on it and repeal it, but they come from the same place, they believe the same things, they want to pursue the same policies, then it will just go back to being our normal compliant serfs in Cook County. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
You have to hear this during the interview yesterday. Because there's two bills in Springfield, Dan, that would repeal the Cook County beverage tax. And she had a message for lawmakers. Ready?
So if I were them, I would stick to their business and let us stick to ours.
Yeah, let them stick. And she's saying it, and her lip is tightened to her, like, stick to your business, I'll stick to ours.
So if I were them, I would stick to their business and let us stick to ours.
Okay, Queen Sugar.
Neil in LaGrange, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. I think you hit the nail on the head. The only reason they're repealing this is because of all the political pressure and because the election is coming up. It's amazing. I just dropped my wife off at the train, and all the sitting Democrats that are going to be, there's challengers that are circulating petitions right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy there yesterday for Barrios, and there's somebody there again for a different office this morning. So I think the genie's out of the bottle, so to speak.
Thanks
for
the call,
I mean,
Neil.
I think a revolt is underway. And Tony Preckwinkle was asked yesterday about her vulnerability.
The people of Cook County didn't elect me to worry about my next election. They elected me to do the best job I can, and that's what I'm trying to do.
How's she doing?
Yeah, how is she doing?
How's she doing?
Now that John Daly's seat is in peril, now all of a sudden this soda tax is probably going to go away because the Dalys can't lose control.
So here, the Dalys. There's one Daly left, really. So here's the thing. I agree with you. I think this revolt bubbling below the surface for a long time, and it took the sugary drink tax to surface it, at least in Cook County, and it needs to be leveraged. Needs to be leveraged to remove all of these people, and also to encourage people to run against them so that you have a choice with respect to their removal. I mean, you can't replace somebody with nobody. That's part of the problem. So it's an opportunity for the Republican Party, too, in Cook County, if they could get their wits about them, which I know is a general challenge. The other thing, just on the policy of this, just so you understand how craven Queen Sugar and these other hacks are in Cook County. I mean, this wasn't like this was their idea. Philadelphia did it. And there's some research on what happened in Philadelphia with their 1.5 cents per ounce sugary drink tax. You know what happened? A number of things. One, it didn't generate the revenue they projected, of course, because demand is elastic and people have substitutes. And one of those substitutes, you know what actually spiked in terms of consumption? Beer. The good news for the beer distributors, because beer consumption spiked in Philly in response to the sugary drink tax there. In addition to that, and I mentioned this before when this was being debated before the county board, the Teamsters opposed it in Philadelphia. They opposed it here. They've opposed it everywhere. Union guys,
right?
Teamsters. You know why? Because they understand that demand will decline, and so will jobs for their drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
less deliveries made.
And that's exactly what happened in Philadelphia. So it didn't generate the revenue. At least Philadelphia had the dignity to not try to buffalo you with propaganda about this being a health benefit or a health concern that your Cook County commissars had, and they were just trying to protect you from yourself with respect to disincentivizing your sugar intake.
But if I hear
that's nonsense.
That Michael Bloomberg sponsored ad about
Yeah.
these kids, if you let them drink sugary soda, they'll gain 10 pounds a year, blah, blah, blah. They could care less about my kids.
Well, little Lord Fauntleroy doesn't like big gulps, and he doesn't like guns, and he's got a lot of money, and he's spreading it around to try and, I don't know, have
why get out of our business?
Add to his legacy. But he's got a lot of money, so Democrats respond to a lot of money. They're much more interested in Michael Bloomberg's campaign cash, understand, than they are in what was this supposed to generate? $60 million? I mean, it won't generate anything close to that, and it may be repealed, but it wouldn't have anyway. $60 million in a $3.5 billion budget? It's like chump change. It's nothing. They did it because they could. They did it because they're not interested in your concerns. They're interested in Michael Bloomberg's money. Do you get it? Do you get it? Honestly. So don't allow this the revolt to end with the repeal of the sugary drink tax, because they'll come at you another way. This will never end until you end it and decide to change the political culture in Chicago, in Cook County, in the state of Illinois.
I mean, it's a very destructive tax, and it's not going to change your drinking habits for some, but shopping habits, because I know of people who are going, instead of buying cigarettes in Indiana, they're all now getting cigarettes and pop and Gatorade and bringing it back. Or going to DuPage County, anywhere where we don't have to feed the beast that is fraudulent with our tax dollars.
Greg in Evanston, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, where you can really see the percentage increase in this tax is if you're like me and you're a total cheapskate and you buy like the generic house brand sodas from the grocery store, like the 2-liter bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Usually those were like 79 cents for some fake cola, right?
Yeah.
That the store sells. And now it's 79 cents for the 2-liter bottle and then 70 cents in tax. So what I've gotten in the habit of doing is if I go to a restaurant, I like sweet tea, right? But I order unsweetened tea and then I pour my own sugar in it. This is akin to how stupid the tax is on non-alcoholic beer. You pay the same tax in Illinois on non-alcoholic beer as you do on beer with alcohol in it.
Yeah.
I suggest everyone get a soda stream, and then they can't tax you. You can make your soda at home.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do.
So here's the thing. Just a couple of points of order. One is, just on the health argument they made, you should also force them to admit that they were lying to you, right? And the way you do that is real easy. If it was about my health, then why were Link card holders exempt from the tax? Right?
I know.
But you have got to hold them. You have got to hold them accountable for treating you like useful idiots. Otherwise, they will continue to do so. I want to hear a response to the propaganda they put out about this great concern they have for the health of their constituents. They don't. And the proof is in the exemption, isn't it? Joanne at Midway, excuse me.
Hi. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I just want to say I spoke to one of the commissioners of Cook County. And when I was speaking to him, I said, listen, you're not going to tell me that she put the tax in effect because of diabetes and obesity, et cetera. I said it was because she clearly stated there was a shortfall in her budget.
Wow.
So the commissioner...
Which is also a lie. I mean, the shortfall's a lie, but this is no way to remedy it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said, because she did claim that there was a shortfall and she needed more money. So
which commissioner were you talking
Well, and Joanne, just wait there for a second, though. $3.5 billion budget. We have a shortfall of, let's say, based on the money they expect to generate, $65 million. I think it was more, closer to 100, but let's say it's 65. $3.5 million budget. We have a shortfall, $65 million. Is it possible that you could cut $65 million in spending?
Oh, well, that's the other thing.
Wait, we don't cut spending.
Just $3.5 billion. How could I cut $65 million out of that? Oh my goodness! All right, Joanne.
I hope they all losers.
The commissioner had told me that he is proposing repealing it, even though he was the one who voted for it.
Who's that?
Who is it?
John Daly.
Oh, there you go.
See, because he wants to save his seat. He doesn't care about you. He cares about himself.
He also cares about his insurance business.
The thing is,
let's
he
be
told
fair.
me what he was going to propose in their next meeting was that he thinks every department in Cook County should cut their budget by 10%.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
With that, because you know they're not going to do it.
Well,
for him to lose his seat. They cut their budgets. 2 to 3%.
Joanne, though, you have to understand, John Daly is lying to you. John Daly's playing you. Oh, now he's a spending hawk. Now he wants to impose 10% across the board cuts, which is just like a throwaway line for a politician who is not interested in real spending reform or structural reform of county government.
10% is an enormous amount.
10% is an enormous amount?
Well, I mean,
no, it's not.
You know, when you're going to negotiate, 10% is a lot. You'll be lucky if you got 5%.
Thanks for the call, Joanne. Yeah,
Thanks for the insight into Daly.
No, you won't be lucky if you got 5%. And no, 10% isn't a lot, because this isn't a negotiation like you're thinking about, Joanne, in the private sector, where those numbers matter. This is a Soviet government system that has existed on bloat and overpriced patronage for 100 years. 10% is a lot? No, it isn't. And it's not about across the board. It's about looking at all of the big systems in Cook County government, just as we should in state government, and completely rethinking them, rethinking the cost they impose, as well as the revenue they generate or don't, and reintroducing a model of government right-sized for the 21st century and what we actually need Cook County government to do and what we need it to be out of, 5%, 10%. Jennifer in Wheeling.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Love your show. I wanted to make a comment on the commercial. Have you guys seen the soda tax commercial? I presume you have.
Bloomberg, yes.
So I think one of the biggest things that bugged the crap out of me was the fact that they have this little kid standing at the vending machine while they have that overtone kind of narrating. And it's like, are you telling the parents now that they can't parent their kid, that the government has to step in and put a tax on the sugar so you don't give the kids extra money to buy soda at lunch or break or whatnot? It drives me crazy. It's like we want less government, and yet they keep throwing themselves in there and people keep voting for them.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for the call, Jennifer.
But now there's, I think there's a movement to unseat Daly Preckwinkle, which is great.
That is great. And by the way,
it happens. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
The Tribune did a good series too, but like a hashtag campaign to show your receipts.
Mhm.
So that's part of what's stoking the revolt too, is all these Twitter and Facebook posts about your receipts and just how onerous the tax burden is. Bill in Tinley Park.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning.
I'm not ending my revolt with just the possible repeal of the soda tax. I have taken all of my shopping, including my grocery shopping, out of Cook County. We're very close to Will County. I drive an extra 10, 15 minutes, go into Will County, and do all my shopping there.
Well, there you go. Thanks for the call, Bill. A lot of people were doing that just as a matter of course before the sugary drink tax for all of their items if they're Cook County residents. George in Libertyville.
Yeah, this is maddening. This is right along. It's like, how stupid can we continue to be as people to vote these clowns in? This is right along the lines of Tiny Dancer's Crocodile Tears, saying that he really cares about all the undocumented illegal immigrants that he wants in this town. But damn it, you're not going to go to the same schools as my kid.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the call, George. That's exactly right. That's a nice connection you made. And don't forget, his grandparents are from Moldova.
Right.
So that's important to show you how much he cares. Mike in Valpo.
Hey, morning. I think you're right on about delivering the message to the politicians that they don't care about our health with respect to the beverage tax. But I think the way you do it is you say, why don't you care about link card holders?
Exactly.
Of course, be confused and say, what do you mean? So, well, why don't you care about their health? Why are they allowed to buy sugary beverages?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good way to phrase it, Mike. Thanks. Greg in Schaumburg.
Dan, you mentioned patronage. What I don't get is when this injunction went in place, remember she laid off a bunch of people? Didn't that take care of the problem?
The problems are manifest and myriad and unmanageable in Cook County, Greg. Thanks.
Must protect sugar.
thieves everywhere. The strong must protect the sweet.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The city of Hartford, Connecticut may go bankrupt. Florida homeowners underinsured as Hurricane Irma approaches. Bids pouring in to build the new Amazon headquarters. Those stories next.
Mom, what company did you use for your bedroom blinds? We're redoing ours.
Blinds.com.
Thumbs up emoji. Okay, I just need it to be easy.
Blinds.com is easy. Free samples, hand clap emoji, free shipping, and, all caps, great prices, exclamation point.
IDK, we're really not handy.
Neither are we. Happy face. Blinds.com walked us through the whole process and sent us samples. They even remade our blinds for free because we didn't measure correctly the first time.
LOL. Thanks, Mom. And enough with the emojis.
Now through September 19th, get 20% off site-wide at Blinds.com when you use promo code SHUTTERS. You can save on everything. Faux wood blinds, cellular shades, roller shades, and free samples with free shipping on every order. That's Blinds.com promo code SHUTTERS for 20% off site-wide now through September 19th. Blinds.com promo code SHUTTERS. Rules and restrictions apply.
The mayor of Connecticut's capital city, Hartford, warning his city may go bankrupt if a state budget isn't in place within the next 2 months. Mayor Luke Brolin says without state help, his city is going under. As Hurricane Irma bears down on Florida, a new survey shows homeowners statewide have dropped policies for flood insurance in recent years. In Miami-Dade and Broward counties, which are under evacuation orders, only about a third of the homes are covered by flood insurance. Ahead today, updates on wholesale trade inventories and revolving credit levels. And Amazon's newly proposed $5 billion headquarters already drawing formal bids from Chicago and the state of Kentucky. More are expected. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation. It's free. Make plans now to attend the 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at a new location, the Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. The 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd. At the brand new location, the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. More info at ilnaclub.org. That's ilnaclub.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk Bannon and Irma with Brett Baer at 7:07.
But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
3 are found dead, shot to death in Joliet. Mayor Emanuel is one of many trying to pitch Amazon to bring a second headquarters to Chicago. More Illinois Air National Guard crews deployed to the hurricane zone. Cubs handle the Pirates. Indians drill the White Sox. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Hurricane Irma
still on track. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's not a question of if Florida's going to be impacted. It's a question of how bad Florida's going to be impacted.
FEMA Administrator Brock Long urging Floridians in dangerous coastal areas to get out.
That doesn't mean you have to travel hundreds of miles to do so, but get out of the storm surge area into a facility that can withstand the winds.
This fishing boat captain in Key Largo is heeding the warning.
Like a lot of my friends, we've tried to wait till last minute to see if it was actually going to wobble a little bit or actually hit us. It's looking like it's going to be close enough now, so it's time to get out.
People in the Keys who don't evacuate are told don't bother calling 911 for help in the middle of the storm. It's going to hit early Sunday. The new update on Irma is just out, slightly weaker again, down to 150-mile-an-hour wind, a Category 4. But warm water could strengthen it again. The hurricane's now battering the Bahamas. It hammered Turks and Caicos overnight. It's nearly destroyed several Caribbean islands. At least 16 people are dead, 4 of them in the U.S. Virgin Islands. They're rattled in Mexico. Aftershocks keep coming after a massive earthquake around midnight. Fox's Tanya J. Powers details what happened live.
Dave, at least 15 people are dead, including 2 children in the quake that shook buildings in Mexico City. That's more than 600 miles from the epicenter. President Enrique Peña Nieto said local calculations put it at 8.2. Now, it happened just before midnight local time, causing serious damage, leaving hundreds of thousands without power. Schools in at least 11 states have been closed today, so officials can check to make sure they're safe, Dave.
Tanya, drama at Miami's airport as people were flying away from Irma's danger. A man armed with a knife tried to get into the terminal from the tarmac near a gate, and then police arrived.
And there was a confrontation at that point with that gentleman that led to some shots fired by our police officer.
And the guy was shot. Miami-Dade Police Director Juan Perez says the suspect is stable at a hospital. They do not believe it was terrorism. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies this morning. 59 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A hearing is scheduled this morning for an ex-Northwestern University professor and an Oxford University employee accused in the fatal July stabbing of a hairstylist in Chicago as part of a sexual fantasy they allegedly hatched in an online chat room. Today's hearing gives attorneys a chance to update a Cook County judge on the status of the murder case, including whether a formal indictment has been filed. Once it is, an arraignment would be set for Wyndham Latham and Oxford financial officer Andrew Warren. Bond court judge ordered the pair jailed in August. Prosecutors say they stabbed Latham's 26-year-old boyfriend Trenton James Durenlew 70 times at Latham's Chicago apartment. An investigation is underway after 3 were found shot to death in a Joliet home. Police say that discovery was made yesterday on Great Falls Drive. Police Chief Brian Benton says the discovery was part of an ongoing investigation.
I want to assure the public that we're out in force tonight to try to help find who did this. We don't believe that this was a random act.
A party was held at the home the night before the bodies were found. Mayor Emanuel trying to sell Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos on the idea that Chicago would be a good place to build a second home. The Seattle-based e-commerce giant announcing plans to invest more than $5 billion on a second headquarters. 2 more Illinois Air National Guard teams and their planes are heading to help in the hurricane zone. A pair of huge C-130 Hercules aircraft left Peoria for the Virgin Islands and a staging area in Maryland. That staging area in Maryland is the place where planes and equipment is ready to go once Irma makes landfall in the United States. Chicago sports, Anthony Rizzo got on base all 4 times, and his at-bats helped the Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2. Indians have won 15 straight games. They beat the White Sox 11-2. College football weekend shaping up. Illinois squaring off with Western Kentucky. In the MAC, our Huskies of NIU face off against Eastern Illinois. Meantime, Northwestern is on the road to take on Duke, while number 25 Notre Dame battles number 15 Georgia. The News is a service of CC's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CC's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CC's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity finally puts the Russia story to bed.
We've been looking at this and investigating this
With all the thousands of media hours, all the barrels of ink that have been used, all of the articles online, there's no evidence of Trump, Russia, election collusion. What if they now show that it was never Russia?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Have you ever considered opening your own business? Have you ever wondered whether you had what it takes to be an entrepreneur? If you have the ambition and a sense of humor, you should pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir. Unlike many of the how-to books about opening a new business, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir is about what it feels like to be in business. It's about what aspiring entrepreneurs can expect to face in their new business and the issues that they need to consider. Written by attorney Scott Annis, with more than 25 years of experience in assisting small businesses, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir offers some old-fashioned homespun advice, often told with clever and amusing anecdotes. It might make you laugh, it could make you cry, and it'll definitely make you think. If starting a new business has been on your mind, pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir. That's spelled B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S-A-I-R-E. It's available on Amazon or at thatbizlawyer.com. Pick up a copy of attorney Scott Annis's book, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir, today.
7:07, and a check of the roads this morning. In our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. CTA Red Line trains are stopped at 63rd right now. There's police activity on a train. North side Holstead remains closed between North Avenue and Willow after an overnight crash. Eden's inbound delay started to Vaughn. 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 22. Kennedy 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Got a crash into Addison in the left lane. 23 minutes from Montrose. 19 in the express. Outbound 46 to the airport. Eisenhower's an hour and 11 minutes. Thorndale to downtown after a crash at Paulina. 58 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 44 to Thorndale. Stevenson 59 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 42. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 429. Tri-State delays are northbound, Pulaski to Cicero, Southwest Highway to 75th, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve, Veterans Memorial, heavy 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to Roosevelt. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Garrett Beck.
Today will be partly sunny and cool. The high will be 67. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy with a low 53. Saturday and Sunday we'll have sun. The high both days will be 70. I'm Garrett Beck on AM 560, The Answer.
59 at O'Hare, 61 along the lakefront. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey.
Dan and Amy, Steve Bannon, the Dark Lord, as he's been caricatured, sat down with Charlie Rose for a 60 Minutes interview. That will air on Sunday, but of course they're teasing it out. Here are some of the more interesting things they think Steve Bannon had to say. Some are rather provocative. He speaks very frankly, as is his calling card. For example, on draining the swamp in the 2016 election.
The Republican establishment is trying to nullify the 2016 election. That's a brutal fact we have to face.
The Republican establishment.
The Republican establishment
wants to nullify the 2016 election.
Trying to nullify the 2016 election.
All right.
Absolutely.
Who?
I think Mitch McConnell and to a degree Paul Ryan. They do not want Donald Trump's populist, economic, nationalist agenda to be implemented. It's very obvious. It's obvious as night follows day.
Give me a story that illustrates that.
Well, Mitch McConnell, when we first met him, I mean, he said, I think in one of the first meetings in Trump Tower with the president, as we're wrapping up, he basically says, I don't want to hear any more of this drain the swamp talk. Flat out. He goes, a guy up on Capitol Hill can't buy a Coke unless it's got to be reported. He says, I can't hire any smart people because everybody's all over him for reporting requirements and the pay, et cetera, in the scrutiny. You know, you got to back off that. The drain the swamp thing was Mitch McConnell was day one. Did not want to go there, wanted us to back off.
You are attacking on many fronts people who you need to help you to get things done.
They're not going to help you unless they're put on notice. They're going to be held accountable if they do not support the President of the United States. Right now, there's no accountability. They do not support the President's program. It's an open secret on Capitol Hill. Everybody in the city knows it.
And so, therefore, now that you're out of the White House, you're going to war with them.
Absolutely.
Going to war with them, absolutely. Whether you agree with the sum total of President Trump's agenda or not, I will tell you, as somebody who's a practitioner of the dark art of politics in Illinois, and the same problem, although it's even more pronounced in Illinois, because of course Republicans are a super minority party here, with a governor that's running for re-election, who is a Republican, but he's
allegedly
right. He's running as a Democrat, effectively, substantively. What Steve Bannon is talking about is very important because it's exactly right. How you get politicians to do the right thing, pressure. How you get them to do what they said they were going to do, be who they said they were going to be in office, pressure, constant pressure. There are very few that go into office with a well-thought-out core philosophy with moral foundation that moors that core philosophy. Most are, just like any other cross-section of humanity. Some good, some bad, well-intended, but they're very susceptible to pressure, and they're very susceptible to the lure of the perks of office, which is why we have the government we have. So when Bannon talks about accountability, and accountability starting first within the Republican Party, since it's the governing party, he's absolutely right. That's how you do it. Now, the policies that you want to see Trump and the federal government pursue is a separate and distinct matter, but in terms of the mechanics of it, I have zero argument with Bannon. For more on Bannon's interview and also some weather talk for Amy, because
thank you. Well, no, because Brett Baer used to be a reporter in Tampa, and he has covered hurricanes before.
He's so beyond that now, Amy.
No, it's not. This is
why are you trying to take Brett Baer down? Brett Baer, anchor of Special Report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, Monday to Friday on Fox News. Also the author of the new book, 3 Days in January, about the Ike administration. Brett, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Yeah, I cover political hurricanes now.
Oh, see?
Yes.
But I've done 17 of the other kind.
17.
See? I told you he had street cred.
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't have street cred. He's probably tired of talking about them. I haven't covered any, and I'm tired of talking about them.
Let's talk about Bannon.
All right, let's talk about Bannon. So what about his interview and the shot across the bow to the Republican establishment, meaning McConnell and Ryan and their leadership teams on the Hill?
So I agree with your premise that it takes pressure to move politicians, especially entrenched ones up on Capitol Hill who have been here for a long time. That said, he's also continually attacking people within his own party who now control the levers of power in Congress. If by 2018 those attacks really take hold and President Trump continues to try to work with Democrats, it may be that the Trump coalition says, you know what, these Republicans aren't getting it done. Let's just elect Democrats. Now, something tells me the benevolence of the chairman of the Judiciary Committee as a Democrat with the gavel is going to be a little different than the Republican with a gavel trying to protect or at least help his own administration.
Well, that's perhaps is right, but I mean, Bannon is essentially, he has to believe a couple of things. One is that Trump is in no real threat with respect to this Russian collusion investigation. That's what Ty Cobb, one of his attorneys, apparently believes. That's what the evidence seems to suggest, that to the extent we know it at this point. And number two, he has to believe that, look, essentially threatening their posts and for the rank and file, their offices, is the only way to get them to fall in line with respect to Obamacare repeal or tax reform or the other component parts of the Trump agenda.
Yeah, and listen, there's a part of that shakes up this town. President Trump was elected to be the bull in the china shop. He's clearly doing that. His choice of tactic this week by agreeing to the first offer by the Democrats for a 3-month extension of the debt ceiling and the continuing resolution really complicates what could have been a smoother December. So in the middle of a tax reform debate up on Capitol Hill, Democrats now have this huge bargaining chip in the debt ceiling vote and the continuing resolution for the budget.
So, but then, he's been teaming up with Democrats, obviously, but there's a report out that Nancy Pelosi encouraged him to write this tweet: for all of those DACA that are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, you have nothing to worry about, no action.
Yeah. Apparently he called her and the other leadership, and in that call, she says, and the White House agrees, that she asked for some kind of blanket calming statement or tweet, and as she says it, boom, 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 then it came out on Twitter. So he's clearly making an outreach to Democrats. He's clearly upsetting some conservatives. The question is if all of the outreach to Democrats is going to pay off. I don't think it's going to pay off if you're of the mindset of getting cuts to the government and making a smaller government and concern about the debt.
But is his perspective a little bit more me-focused than that? And by that I mean, well, look, I have to hedge, because if we don't get big things done, Obamacare repeal and replace, it looks like it's by the boards. Although there's, how that plays itself out is still replete with danger and problems. Tax reform, I don't know. Paul Ryan wants to do more than some other conservatives, including some of the conservative intellectual architects of tax reform, want to do. So there doesn't seem to be complete unity on that, particularly between the House and the Senate. So if we can't get big things done, I need a hedge. And the hedge is maybe Republicans aren't in control of Congress after 2018, particularly the House. And maybe I should have more of a relationship across the aisle.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a punt in that you're going to if tax reform is a Democrat tax reform package, it's going to be a lot different than if it was a Republican package pushed through on reconciliation. So it's a different thing than he campaigned on, but is a different president. He's very unique. He is evolving. And this was a moment week that really was an eye-opener for a lot of people in Washington.
On DACA, with this 6-month window, effectively, that he's given Congress to intervene to restore constitutional separation of powers and the like, is there the possibility that he can assuage both sides and have a victory here, that he's looking to make a deal? I'm gonna sign whatever version of the DREAM Act gets to my desk, and I'm probably going to concede more than a lot of conservative backbenchers like Steve King would like me to. But in exchange to allay some of their opposition, I'm going to get, for example, border funding for my wall and the like.
Yeah, I think that's where it runs into a brick wall, literally. Democrats are already starting to talk about increased border security. Nancy Pelosi mentioned it in a news conference yesterday. But when it comes to the wall, they all stop short.
Yeah.
So I bet you there is a common ground here that some increased border security with a DACA solution can get through Congress. The Lindsey Grahams, the others who can cobble together a coalition on this. But funding the wall outright is probably going to be a tough thing for Democrats to get to. And the president can swallow not getting the funding for the border wall. Maybe Mexico will pay for it.
All right, Bret Baier, it's Dan's favorite subject, Hurricane Irma. If you have the governor saying get out while you can, deadly, life-threatening winds, 10-foot storm surges. As somebody who has covered 17 hurricanes, why do people stay? Are they afraid of, their possessions being stolen, or why?
No, I mean, I've talked to a lot of folks who stay, and I've been a reporter in the middle of many of these, and, they think it's not going to be as bad as they say. There have been a few storms that have come in and haven't been as bad. But the ones that are as bad, Andrew, it's just unbelievably devastating. If you look at Anguilla today, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And so this storm is massive. We have a place in Naples, Florida. It's all buckled up. I got my mom out of Florida. It's the right thing to do to get out, because you can't obviously save people, but you want to be careful about family and not possessions.
All right. He is retired storm chaser Bret Baier, anchor of Special Report, weekdays 5 p.m. Chicago time on Fox. Also, the book. You want to pick it up 3 days in January about the Ike administration. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
I hung up the slicker. Have a good one.
Right.
But he's a good man for protecting his mom, and he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm going to spring break at his home in Naples. Think he'd let me borrow it?
You're not invited.
I'll pay him. Nothing like they're having in Florida here this weekend, that's for sure. Today, sunny, cool, a high of 66, and your weekend looks great. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday, a high of 70. And on Sunday for the Bears-Falcons game, noon kickoff. Go Bears, go. Say it, Dan.
No chance.
Okay. We're going to have a high of 70 degrees and plenty of sunshine. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Busy morning. Jim Telemonte, are things getting better out there?
Oh, to a degree, Amy. It kind of depends on where you're at. And with the Bears, Cubs, and Sox all home this weekend, it will be a very busy traffic weekend. Right now, not bad on the Edens. It's 25 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, heavy with a crash at Addison in the left lane. We're looking at 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. The Ohio feeder's backed up. There was an earlier crash at Ohio and Orleans. Outbound 46 minutes downtown to the Eisenhower. Downtown to the airport, I should say, on the Eisenhower. Well, that's brutal after a crash at Paulina. An hour and 11 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 44 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollways are a little lighter than they've been all week. In fact, we don't see any delays on the Adams and the Reagan tollways. And the Northwest Indiana major roads, they're all clear. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago pregnancy centers and maternity homes is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy center is to remove the crisis, not the child, which is why I'm proud to be on the advisory board of Aid for Women. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org, or join me at Aid for Women's annual benefit banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, a friend of the show, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving work. That website again, helpaidforwomen.org.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
Being complete layman at the whole home buying thing, we were just hoping we weren't going to get taken through the ringer for. You know, with you guys, we felt like we were a priority instead of just another number. We really did feel like we had your guys' personal touch. We could talk to Barry. I mean, you know, any way that it went, if we didn't get you on the phone, we knew that within 15 minutes we were getting a call or an email back. You guys held us by the hand so that we could finish the race, and you guys definitely got it done for us.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chira Curry, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you, a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit, no expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments, no ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing, at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
As a small business owner, you're always on the go. So how can you make sure you never miss a customer's call? Grasshopper. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a business phone system. That's right, Grasshopper turns your cell phone into a business phone system that's affordable and incredibly easy to use. Get a toll-free or vanity phone number that's memorable and professional. Customers are forwarded to your phone and connected to you or your team wherever you are. And with our app, your outgoing calls and texts show up as your professional phone number. We'll transcribe your voicemails and send them to your email so you can determine their importance at a glance. So whether you're always on the go or working from home and need to keep business calls separate, or you simply want a professional tone, Grasshopper makes it happen. Set up your account in just minutes. There are no long-term contracts and support is 24/7. Get your calls, stay connected, thrive. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. Grasshopper.com/radio.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank.
It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The New York Times had this in-depth expose of what it's truly like to be a fashion model with a number of interviews. I was not interviewed, but I'm going to share my stories from my time on the catwalk. But first, at 7:37, Michael Bennett, defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks, is he trying out to be an NBC nightly news anchor? We'll discuss.
And later, Kathy Hart has been fired from the Mix. We'll tell you why, but first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
58 degrees outside, southern Mexico's biggest earthquake in more than a century. As people shaking this morning, 15 dead, 2 million without power. The 8.1 magnitude quake hit Chiapas just before midnight. Hurricane Irma just after midnight, downgraded to a Category 4 storm, moving through the Bahamas, but still extremely dangerous. Data breach at credit reporting giant Equifax could affect more than 140 million people in the U.S. Equifax announcing yesterday that hackers gained access to files that included names, birth dates, social security numbers, addresses, driver's license numbers. The FDA says there are hundreds of complaints this morning against EpiPen. Here's why. The agency sent a warning letter to the Pfizer drug company saying it failed to investigate complaints that the anti-allergy device misfired during life-threatening emergencies, including some cases in which people later died. A hearing is scheduled later today for an ex-Northwestern University professor and an Oxford University employee accused in a fatal July stabbing of a hairstylist in Chicago as part of a sexual fantasy. An investigation continues after 3 were found shot to death at a home in Joliet. The discovery was made yesterday in the 1900 block of Great Falls Drive. A party was held at that home the night before the bodies were found. And he is unofficially an ambassador to North Korea. Dennis Rodman thinks he'll do a better job convincing North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un not to launch a nuclear attack against the U.S. or U.S. allies than his friend, President Donald Trump. Rodman interviewed with Good Morning Britain, saying the former NBA player is just the guy to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula. We are efforting some audio from that interview. Cubs beat the Pirates 8-2. Indians' win streak is at 15 games. They drilled the White Sox 11-2. The news service of CiCi's. Want to taste that sauced and tossed flavor of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. The new wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 7:33. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Come in and find great deals on the latest hunting gear and apparel. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint. the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you for free the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4 Imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HBR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
7:35. We are at the height of rush hour and in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center playing traffic cop. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yeah, trying to navigate that inbound Eisenhower. It's tough this morning. There was an earlier crash at Paulina, Mike. The delays start at St. Charles. It is an hour and 24 minutes to get from Thorndale to downtown. An hour 10 from Manheim. Outbound 48 minutes to Thorndale. Eden's 22 minutes from Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 28 to Kennedy. An hour and 4 minutes O'Hare to downtown after a crash at Addison. 38 minutes from Montrose. 29 in the Express. Outbound 44 minutes to the airport. Inbound Stevenson. An hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. The Rhine is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Heavy in pockets between Pulaski and 47th. Nothing too extreme. It's very heavy, though, from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial slow, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to Roosevelt. The other tollways are good. Eastbound I-80 slow, 80th Avenue to 183rd with a crash. Traffic, service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep at your local Jeep dealer. Get the best deals of the year and the award-winning lineup. But don't wait. 1 week to Jeep ends soon. Hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and cool, a high of 66, partly cloudy and 52 overnight. Currently, we have 58. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Michael Bennett, he is a standout defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks. Texas A&M, I believe, where he played his college ball. And he was at the Conor McGregor-Floyd Mayweather fight in Vegas a couple weeks ago. And there was a police incident that I actually didn't hear about until this Michael Bennett story surfaced. And hat tip to Clay Travis over at Outkick the Coverage for having the drill down on this. But yesterday, Michael Bennett posted this tweet and the statement. Dear world, Saturday, August 26th, I was in Vegas to attend Mayweather-McGregor on my day off. After the fight, while heading back to my hotel, several hundred people heard what sounded like gunshots. Like many of the people in the area, I ran away from the sound looking for safety. Las Vegas police officers singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. Police officer ordered me to get to the ground. As I laid on the ground, complying with his commands to not move, he placed his gun near my head and warned me that if I moved, he would blow my effing head off, quote unquote. Terrified and confused by what was taking place, a second officer came over and forcefully jammed his knee into my back, making it difficult for me to breathe. They then cinched handcuffs on my wrists so tight that my fingers went numb. The officer's excessive use of force was unbearable. I felt helpless as I lay there on the ground, handcuffed, facing the real-life threat of being killed. All I could think of was, am I going to die for no other reason than I am black and my skin color is somehow a threat? Kept asking the officers, what did I do? And reminding them that I had rights they were duty-bound to respect.
Well, did they read him as Miranda rights? Or we'll get into that.
Yeah, he also just went on to finish his statement. After confirming his identity, after confirming my identity, I'll just read from his statement. After confirming my identity, I was ultimately released without any legitimate justification for the officer's abusive conduct. I've always had a strong conviction that protesting or standing up for justice is just simply the right thing to do. This fact is unequivocally, without question, why before every game I sit during the national anthem. Because equality doesn't live in this country, and no matter how much money you have, what job title you have, or how much you give, when you're seen as a N-word, you'll be treated this way. The system failed me. I can only imagine what Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Charlena Lyles felt.
Those are completely different cases.
All of them, even that string of names,
Yeah.
yes. So that's Michael Bennett's statement with the single word caption of equality. Las Vegas police were not aware, at least at the leadership level, were not aware that Michael Bennett felt this way until he posted this statement. And yesterday,
and somebody leaked the video to TMZ Sports.
Yes.
And that's how people know about it.
But in terms of Las Vegas police and why they had the deputy sheriff hold a press conference yesterday, it was because of that statement that Michael Bennett made. And here is the deputy sheriff, Kevin McMahill. Kevin McMahill, he's the undersheriff for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Just get his name and title right there. And here's what he described, providing more detail and context to that night's events and what the officers who responded faced.
At 1:30 a.m. on the 27th, approximately 3 hours after the boxing match ended, an active shooter call came into the LVMPD Communications Center that originated outside of the Dre's nightclub at the Cromwell. Metro officers immediately responded to the scene and encountered thousands of patrons in the casino and nightclub. As officers entered the casino floor, they were met with large groups of people running for cover, laying on the ground hiding, and people screaming. Casino signage, chairs, and stanchions were knocked over inside of the casino. With very little information as to who the shooter was or the shooter's location, our officers pushed past the fleeing crowds and began immediately converging on the reported threat. One of the teams that cleared the casino then exited the casino at the door to regroup and were redirected back towards the Dre's nightclub inside of the casino. As they moved towards the nightclub, an individual later identified as Bennett was seen crouched down behind a gaming machine as the officers approached. Once Bennett was in the officer's view, he quickly ran out of the south doors, jumped over a wall onto Flamingo Road east of Las Vegas Boulevard into traffic. Due to Bennett's actions and the information the officers had at the time, they believed Bennett may have been involved in the shooting, and they gave chase. Bennett was placed into handcuffs and detained while officers determined whether or not he was involved in the original incident. He was detained for approximately 10 minutes and released. Mr. Bennett at the scene had the incident explained to him by a supervisor, and he said that he understood and that he had no problem with what the officers did, just the one that he claimed the officer had pointed a gun at his head.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the reasons this is important is because of how the initial response from the NFL as well as from sports media. What do you think it was?
Well, they're on his side. They
Right.
saw him, if he was a white man, would he have gotten arrested? We don't know.
No, here's what they did. They responded to Michael Bennett's statement, and they took that at face value and said, and basically were offering encomiums to Michael Bennett for enduring what he endured. That's what they did. Without evidence, without the other side of the story, which you got from a few intrepid reporters that,
Well, they pushed the issue. They kept asking because when this video was first released and the statement was released, they were still going over 120 different
they still
surveillance cameras. Or
125 different pieces of video they're still reviewing.
Mm-hmm.
That's still in process, and they're also soliciting more. So the Vegas Police Department is saying, anybody who has video, send it to us. They want as much information as they can get, so they're hardly trying to whitewash this or just review.
They reminded people there's two sides to the story.
Yes, exactly. That's why they're soliciting more information. They're not just taking snippets and saying, well, this is it. Hey, bring the information forward. And this is not just looking at the video before the video is even released, the statement. And people saying, well, gosh, wait a second. Police are responding to a call. He talks about, in his statement, shots fired and people rushing out of the casino. Well, why would they single out Michael Bennett? He was the only black person on site at the casino for the McGregor and Mayweather fight? No, right. So people start asking logical questions rather than rushing to judgment to propagate their anti-police left-wing ideology.
Well, the
that's
officer
what
just
the media
said, going on the information that they had about the shooter, that's why Michael Bennett must have fit the description of the shooter.
No, there was no description of the shooter. That's not what happened. The call was, and the belief was an active shooter. And they were, if you watch the video that was released at this press conference yesterday, you have a half a dozen officers working in tandem, trying to clear the area as a group with guns drawn. And you have people rushing out of the casino of all races and them trying to clear people out of the casino to figure out if there's an active shooter, where's the active shooter. And so they're methodically going through the casino. And then, as we know, Bennett is hiding behind a slot machine. And I'm not saying Bennett did anything wrong here.
Probably scared.
I don't know what his mind was, and neither do you, but I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just describing what happened. They're trying to clear the casino. He pops up from behind a slot machine. There's a barrier wall there, and then runs out, and that's what the police are responding to. What? And so with respect to the statement that Bennett released, McMahill went on to say this.
Listen, many of the folks today have called this an incident of bias-based policing. Police officers focus solely on the race of an individual that they are going to stop. I can tell you as I stand here today, I see no evidence of that. I see no evidence that race played any role in this incident. In fact, as you'll notice throughout this video as I play for you, while officers were searching the casino, they were able to safely evacuate many patrons of all races. It's also important for me to note to you, both of the officers involved in this incident in question are of Hispanic origin. I'd also like for Mr. Bennett, along with his legal counsel, to contact our internal affairs and provide a formal statement detailing his allegations. As I said, we opened the internal affairs case without his complaint.
Mm-hmm. And Michael Bennett's civil rights attorney that he hired, Mr. Burris, John Burris, according to local news in Vegas, that attorney says race was not a factor in arrest, but lack of probable cause was, and he may file a civil rights suit based on lack of probable cause to detain Bennett in the first place. But it wasn't race-based. So 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
The Las Vegas Police Union this morning wants an apology from Michael Bennett.
I would go further. If this is complete, I mean, I want to hear more from Bennett, and I think he should be questioned. And this is why I said, come forward and file the complaint. Absolutely. Don't just post a statement on Twitter, Mr. Bennett. Come forward, file a complaint. We'll review the complaint. And if the facts turn out to be what they appear to be, which is Michael Bennett is lying about being detained because he was black and knows it, that he's lying about police not explaining why they detained him, that perhaps, which appears to be the truth, that perhaps, this I don't know, but perhaps he's also lying about police officer threatening to blow his effing head off and the police officer holding a gun to his head. It appears to be a taser, not a gun that the officer was using, even though the other officers that were trying to clear the casino had their guns drawn because they're responding to what they believed was an active shooter situation, which it turned out not to be.
And there was a gun or taser pointed at him, but from about 10 feet up on a patio.
Right, with officers whose guns were already drawn.
You know
and then he jackrabbits out of the casino.
You know how he could apologize? By this weekend when the Seattle Seahawks play, maybe he could stand during the national anthem.
Oh, there's an idea.
Instead of sitting down.
There's an idea. I mean, he's not going to do that, as you heard why, I suppose.
And everyone will be focusing on him this weekend during the national anthem.
Yeah, but if he's lying,
stand up.
And
with a sign, I'm sorry.
And if he files a false complaint that he knows not to be true, then is the NFL going to suspend him? Is the NFL going to retract its initial knee-jerk defense of Michael Bennett? Are we going to demand some accountability for the PC-addled institutions that propagate unnecessarily fact-free division and, frankly, anti-police attitudes? What about that? I mean, should there be more accountability for Bennett if he's going to tell what appears to be at least partially a false story of victimization? I think it's more. I think there's more, because there's this rush to identify as a victim for the purposes of being lionized. And then, of course, the NFL, corporations like the NFL, and the big government press corps, anti-police, rush to amplify these stories without fact-checking, without asking any properly skeptical questions to get a complete contextual version of the story. Bob and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Michael Bennett and his brother Martellus have been featured in Sports Illustrated, and they did a special piece on him. And I think the Chicago Tribune, like a month or so ago, I read both articles, one in a doctor's office because I don't get Sports Illustrated. But I find it a little ironic that they are both super smart, and they both know that any publicity is good publicity for them. And I also find it really hard to believe that Michael Bennett is saying that he was pushed down and crushed so he didn't get any breath, he couldn't catch his breath, and this and that and the other, when the man hurls himself at 20 miles an hour toward people on the other side of
your first point is a good one. The whole kind of he's a big guy. You know, Eric Garner was a big guy too. You know that you can disable a big guy. I mean, that's what police are trained to do. Thanks for the call, Bob. Bob in DeKalb, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. When you first read a statement, it sounded like, oh, this is really bad. But then when you get all the facts, okay, the thing that I'm more concerned about is when you're in a situation like that and you jump up and run away, that kind of sends red flags to the police. And, the fact, whether he's black or not, the thing is that we have enough trouble in this country with people insinuating race into everything.
Yes.
So let's be truthful, right? He really needs to be truthful. Did the police see him and then he ran away? Which would then, any logical person in a situation like that would say, why is he running away from me? He should be running to me with his hands up that, save me from the bad guy, not running away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's probably scared.
Thanks for that.
As a responsible adult, he really needs to set an example. And I can understand why the police might have been a little bit more forceful with him because he's a big guy. And people don't understand the types of people that the police encounter on a daily basis. And people can appear awfully nice in 1 second, and the other second they could kill you.
Thanks for the call, Bob. I appreciate it. Look,
well, he was dressed more. I mean, he wasn't dressed like a millionaire football player. He was dressed, he was wearing a gray plaid shirt and jeans. And
so, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, my point. The point is, I don't necessarily blame Michael Bennett for running. Maybe he thought there was still an active shooter situation.
Maybe he was worried for his life.
Maybe he misidentified a police officer holding a gun as an assailant holding a gun. I don't know. So I'm not blaming him for that. It's the statement after the fact that doesn't square with the facts
That was a little embellished.
as we know them from the video. That's the issue. And frankly, even as his attorney, his civil rights attorney, is disagreeing with him that he was detained because he's black. His civil rights attorney's already conceded the point that that's not the fact. There's no evidence to support that. Bruce in Bloomingdale.
Morning. Dan, don't you know that facts are racist these days?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the call, Bruce. John in Lincolnwood. Hey, John.
Hello, it's Dan and Amy?
Yep.
Oh, hey. You know, Dan, I was listening to the story about Michael Bennett. Did you say what the video showed, or did they say what the video showed? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so there's about 5 minutes of video that the Las Vegas police played yesterday at the press conference, and that's how we know how the police entered the casino, and we could see the people rushing out. And then they also have the moment, but it's not complete, the moment where they see Bennett run from behind a slot machine and a wall divider, and then run out the door, and then they chase him. And then ultimately it cuts to the video because of one officer's body cam of Bennett being, on the ground, chest down, and being handcuffed behind his back. And that's
a knee to his back.
And then he's saying things like, why are you doing this? I did nothing wrong. Okay, fine. And then that's about it. And so that's why the deputy sheriff has said, look, we want to get more video. We're still reviewing 125 pieces of video evidence. So I assume more videos will will fill in some of the gaps that we have, but that's what we know to be the case from what they've released so far.
It's just amazing that he would come out on Twitter and say something like that he knows is untrue. I mean, so far as we know, we know it's untrue. I mean, this is just ridiculous. In this country, this is what's wrong. People make up stuff for publicity, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. I just don't understand what's going on. This is just pathetic. And these athletes that don't stand, and last night in the Chiefs game, that one guy did, I was like, come on, this is just getting out of hand. I don't understand the point that they're actually trying to make with this discrimination thing. You're not going to do it by not standing for the national anthem. It just makes me sick.
Thanks, John.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at PCGconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month's supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Moderation in pursuit of justice is a virtue for New York Times columnist David Brooks. The truth is plural, writes Brooks in What Moderates Believe. Brooks puts fresh finish on the worn-out bipartisan compromise trope, arguing that politics is usually a tension between two or more views, each of which possesses a piece of truth. Brooks doesn't consider that people can work together to end racial discrimination, just as they can work together to rob a bank. The means is less important than the ends. Brooks characterizes moderates as courageous for recognizing what they don't know, only to turn around and claim that government can create a platform upon which the beautiful things in life can flourish. So an individual moderate is humbled and thus restrained by his ignorance, but a group of moderates, given the power of the state, is transformed into an omniscient force for good. David Brooks, in his press sweater vest, is the archetype of the moderate ideologue. He is who conservative U.S. Senator Malcolm Wallop was describing when Wallop said, "The problem with the Republican Party is if the Democrats introduce legislation to burn down the U.S. Capitol, Republicans would compromise and agree to phase it in over 3 years."
Irma is no longer a Category 5. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but that could change again.
But the National Hurricane Center has updated its forecast and is expecting this storm to strengthen yet again because we've got a lot of warm water.
The storm now has 150-mile-an-hour wind, and Fox meteorologist Janice Dean says the hurricane's on track for a direct hit.
The worst-case scenario is the center of the storm coming on top of South Florida and the Keys because the worst of the storm surge, the worst of the winds, the worst of the rainfall is going to happen.
President Trump on Twitter is urging everyone in Irma's path to heed the advice and orders of local officials. Fox's Evan Brown, live in Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Yeah, Dave, it's beginning to empty out here. Not just people either, but the store shelves. Big home improvement stores are running out of things often needed, like those wing nuts used to secure the storm shutters. One store manager tells me they do not expect any more shipments to arrive. Ditto for the grocery stores. It's quite common for the water to be gone. And people are heeding evacuation orders. Many shelters are now at capacity. Here in Broward County, officials revealed they are looking to open more, possibly to accommodate more people. Yesterday, a normal 4-hour ride from South Florida to Orlando was taking 8 or more hours to drive, Dave.
Evan Irma's now blamed for at least 20 deaths across the Caribbean, hitting the Bahamas now after battering Turks and Caicos overnight. Other islands like St. Martin are dealing with destruction, nearly every building damaged. A different disaster in Mexico. The earth quaked around midnight off the southern coast near Guatemala. At least 15 people are dead among the damaged homes and buildings. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto says it was a magnitude 8.2.
The earthquake with the biggest magnitude to be recorded in our country in the last 100 years.
There were even tsunami warnings and 3-foot-high waves measured. The House will today vote on giving even more disaster relief to Texans dealing with Harvey flooding. The Senate raised the amount last night from $8 to more than $15 billion. Some Republicans object to raising the debt limit as part of the deal. President Trump struck with Democrats. Fox News, fair and balanced.
58 degrees. Skies are cloudy at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Here are the stories we're following on WIND Chicago. A hearing is scheduled for later this morning for an ex-Northwestern University professor and an Oxford University financial employee accused in the fatal July stabbing of a hairstylist in Chicago, part of a sexual fantasy the two cooked up in an online chat room. A 16-year-old boy is in serious condition, shot by a Chicago police officer on the west side. Chicago police tell us officers spotted the teen running last night near Richmond and Fillmore. Officers began the chase before an armed confrontation ensued. The officer then shot the boy in the arm. Mayor Emanuel trying to sell Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos on the idea of building a new second home in Chicago. The Seattle-based e-commerce giant announcing plans to invest more than $5 billion on a second headquarters in North America. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Daniel Biss will apparently be introducing a new running mate later today. The announcement comes 2 days after the state senator dropped Chicago Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa from his ticket over comments Rosa made about Israel last year. A Northwest suburban man could spend nearly 4 decades behind bars for killing his wife in front of their children last year. Jose Roque was sentenced to 38 years in prison after pleading guilty to murdering Divina Salgado. He shot and killed his wife outside their home near Arlington Heights. Bail is set at $2.5 million for a Chicago man accused of hitting his 3-month-old son in Mount Prospect. James Howard is charged with aggravated battery of a child. Prosecutors say he was staying at a relative's Mount Prospect home last Saturday when he forcefully patted that child on the back. Cubs over the Pirates 8-2. Indians win their 15th straight, beating the White Sox 11-2. 8:04 is our time. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here is Roger Stir.
From the Fox Business Network, 209,000 Americans may now be vulnerable to identity theft. That's the number of people whose Social Security numbers, birth dates, and credit card numbers have been stolen from Equifax, one of the 3 credit reporting agencies in the U.S. The company is referring customers to an Equifax website so they can find out if they're among the victims, but many cannot get a direct answer, though they are offered free credit monitoring. A former Amazon.com financial analyst pleaded guilty to insider trading. He tipped off a former college frat buddy about the company's quarterly earnings before they were made public. Brett Kennedy faces up to 20 years in prison. And more Americans are losing faith in the value of a college education. A new NBC Wall Street Journal poll finds that 47% of Americans don't believe college will lead to a good job and higher lifetime earnings. The study finds that skepticism has increased over the past 4 years. The Fox Business Report, I'm Roger Stern.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Attention Second Amendment patriots. Just Target Guns of Libertyville in Lake County just returned from the largest gun show in America with new products. They're fully stocked for home defense and all shooting sports. Just Target Guns, located in Libertyville on Peterson Road, is the place to go for rifles, pistols, antique firearms, ammunition, and all levels of shotguns. Connie Shanahan and the knowledgeable staff at Just Target Guns will answer all your questions, no matter your level of experience, and help discover what you need for sports shooting, trap, ski, target practice, or self-defense. Whether you're a novice shooter or a highly trained professional, Just Target Guns has got your brass covered. Get your FOID card, sign up for firearms training, and conceal and carry classes. Just Target Guns also has a skilled gunsmith on staff for repairs, and firearm appraisals are done in-house. Exercise your Second Amendment rights and set your sight on JustTargetGuns.com. That's JustTargetGuns.com.
8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Like inbound Kennedy, delays start at Nagel. It is an hour and 7 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 45 minutes. Edens 20 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 34. Yike, an hour and 19 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive. Heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound Tri-State. Stop and go 111th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway most to the way to Irving Park. Veterans Memorial Jam. Fountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail Toll to 290. Eastbound I-80 from Wolf to 183rd with a crash. Traffic service of Ace. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks. Ace has top-rated paint, award-winning service, and the extra mile promise. If it ever takes more than one trip to complete your paint project, Ace will bring you what you need and deliveries free. See acehardware.com for details. Only at Ace, the helpful place. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Garrett Beck.
It'll be sunny this weekend. Today it'll be partly sunny and cool, high 67. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy with a low 53. Tomorrow and Sunday, sun, high both days, 70. I'm Garrett Beck on AM 560, The Answer.
Clouds and 58. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, you asked for it, Amy, not our listeners, and you may or may not be happy with getting it. Yesterday, when we were reminding people of El Gallito's statement in response to the announcement on DACA this week that General Kelly, a Gold Star father, is a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear. The suggestion was made, maybe a tribute to El Gallito.
Yeah, we also coupled it with the fact that Hurricane Irma hit Puerto Rico. That's where he's from, and he should donate money. And Despacito, the song came from Puerto Rico. And ready? This is Justin, our technical director.
This is a democracy, and we will make democracy work.
El Gallito. This is how we do it in the Hillies 4th District. Just another Democrat unrealistic. I want to hear you scream impeach 45. El Gallito.
And Justin has now been relieved of his position as our technical producer.
Woo, that was so bad it's good.
We'll take submissions from people who can sing as well. I mean, the lyrics weren't bad. You know, it's a start.
Gallito. This is how we do it down in the 4th Congressional District.
It doesn't rhyme perfectly.
Doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, I got that. That's why I said there's room for improvement.
Okay,
but
maybe if we do it in Spanish.
All right, now on a more serious note, Steve Bannon sat down with Charlie Rose for a 60 Minutes interview that'll air Sunday. Of course, CBS teasing out some of the juicier bites, including Bannon talking DACA.
Look what he did on DACA the other day. Okay, I don't agree with that DACA decision, but I understand how he struggled with it. I understand how he's giving a possibility of a legislative thing, and he said even last night in a tweet, he would rethink it. Trust me, the guys on the far right, the guys on the conservative side are not happy with this.
Can I remind you, a good Catholic, that Cardinal Dolan is opposed to what's happening with DACA? Cardinal Dolan.
The Catholic Church has been terrible about this.
Okay,
the bishops have been terrible about this. By the way, you know why? Because unable to really to come to grips with the problems in the church, they need illegal aliens. They need illegal aliens to fill the churches. It's obvious on the face of it. That's what the entire Catholic bishops condemning. They have an economic interest. They have an economic interest in unlimited immigration, unlimited illegal immigration. And as much as
that's a tough thing to say about your church.
As much as I respect Cardinal Dolan and the bishops on doctrine, this is not doctrine. This is not doctrine at all. I totally respect the Pope, and I totally respect the Catholic bishops and cardinals on doctrine. This is not about doctrine. This is about the sovereignty of a nation. And in that regard, they're just another guy with an opinion.
Yeah.
So is that what you see when you go to church, Dan? A bunch of illegals in the pews next to you?
I'm not going to respond to the silliness of that question. Here's the point that Bannon is making. There's a difference between the bishops inveighing with stentorian remarks about church doctrine, about the catechism, versus just public policy debates, which they are not experts at. There's nothing wisdom received from on high about their pronouncements on the minimum wage rate, on climatology, on immigration policy. So he's right about that. And by the way, if you don't think that there's a calculus about the future of the church made with selection and positions on policy, then you don't know much about the U.S. Catholic Conference of Bishops, and even the process by which Pope Francis was selected. He was selected from South America. It's not an accident. It's where the church sees its most growth potential. And, of course, the church is suffering a decline in membership, partly because of how badly it handled scandal among its ranks. So most of what Bannon said is correct. I wouldn't go so far as to call that an economic interest, but I would say in terms of their preservationist interests for the Catholic Church, that politics plays a part. There's no question about it. Cardinal Dolan did respond, saying that I'm not going to respond, that the Bannon's statement is insulting, and it's just so ridiculous that it doesn't merit a comment. I know somebody who will respond. She's our friend Michelle Malkin, of course, best-selling author, political commentator, senior editor for Conservative Review, as well as her own always provocative blog. Michelle Malkin, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan and Amy.
So what about Bannon's comment on the church and DACA?
I absolutely agree with it. And I, speaking as someone who is a Catholic, somebody who is the daughter of legal immigrants and naturalized American citizens to this country. And it is a plain fact that open borders benefits Catholic churches looking to fill their pews and their collection baskets. And for a long time, immigration restrictionists and enforcement advocates like myself have been alarmed at some of the policy statements and policy positions of the Catholic bishops. And it's one thing to show compassion to legal immigrants and legitimate refugees and asylees and those who are abused and exploited and mistreated by smugglers, but it's quite another to, as the Catholic elite leadership has done, support the systematic undermining and of an orderly immigration and entry system that every sovereign country has a right and duty to enforce. And unfortunately, there are many open borders radicals, not just in the Catholic Church, but among many religious elites who oppose all limits and all eligibility requirements. I mean, this is what the religious sanctuary movement is all about. I mean, people think of sanctuary policy in the sense of police departments or liberal cities embracing non-enforcement and non-cooperation on immigration issues. But the roots of it, of course, are in the religious sanctuary movement. And this is an affront to Catholics who support and respect our immigration laws, to have the Vatican, which, I don't know if you remember this, guys, but they donated tens of thousands of dollars to build these shelters for Central American immigrants who were migrating to the U.S. during the Obama surge years, endangering people and encouraging them. And I absolutely agree with Steve Bannon that the bottom line there is for the church's own self-preservation and, yes, economic interest.
Well, it sounds like President Trump, I mean, who's now being considered a Democratic president, sided with Nancy Pelosi, who implored that he write a tweet or author a tweet saying for those DACA that are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, you have nothing to worry about, no action. So clearly, Donald Trump, if Congress doesn't move on this, I think he is to keep DACA alive and well. And I don't have a problem with that. Why does that bother you so much?
I have a problem with DACA because it is unconstitutional on its face, and it goes against, every principle, not only of limited government, but of sovereignty. It's also a matter of priorities. And I wrote a column about this that you can read at my website at michellemalkin.com, thinking about the fundamental principles and message here that's involved in putting 800,000 illegal alien youth. And I think it's one of the open borders propaganda successes that these are cast as quote-unquote helpless children when many of them are nearing 30 now, that somehow they deserve immediate attention and immediate protection when they shouldn't have ever had this program and these government benefits in the first place. You can't have it both ways. And I think this is what needs to be said of the Democrat Party. On the one hand, they pose as the party of the working people. And this is the party that's been clamoring over low wages. They want to mandate minimum wage hikes. We need to be concerned about millennials, what's their future, what are their jobs. You can't have that as your number one priority. And then also have as your number one priority handing out nearly 1 million work permits to people who don't belong here in the first place. And so then they switch tactics. And the tactic is, well, they didn't come here of their own volition, and these were circumstances and unfortunate accidents of fate or history for them to have parents who chose to break the law. Well, whose responsibility is that? And why is it that they should come first over, say, law-abiding immigrants or people who are waiting in line around the country whose first act is to respect our sovereignty rather than to undermine it. And what about the ranchers on the border who've been waiting and waiting and waiting for years for the federal government to do something about their obligation to protect the borders? Why isn't building the wall the first priority here rather than extending DACA protections unconstitutionally granted by Obama? It doesn't make any sense to me.
With respect to any potential DREAM Act being resuscitated in its previous form, or perhaps with Democrats feeling their oats at present even more aggressive, Byron York has a good piece in the Washington Examiner. You know, what's in the DREAM Act? Since we're talking about it and Congress may be leveling it back up, maybe we should take a look at the language in the bill, or at least the previous version. And one of the things he writes about specifically is criminal convictions. The DREAM Act of 2017 would exclude anyone convicted of, quote, any offense under federal or state law other than a state offense for which an essential element is the alien's immigration status. The point that Jessica Vaughn and others make is, well, that would grant status to people here illegally who've been convicted of felony ID fraud or other crimes that could be considered related to their immigration status. In addition to that, York makes the point that you could have one of these people who have DACA status. They could commit 3 offenses on 3 separate occasions, and they have to be convicted on all before that person is ineligible for legalization, misdemeanor convictions, 3 of them. And you know how the system works. I mean, you can be put on probation and so forth, that conviction expunged. 3 criminal convictions, misdemeanors, and then the other carve out of crimes related to your status here illegally. Yes. That provides a lot of bandwidth, doesn't it?
Well, yes, of course. And what it gives rise to it and what it sheds light on is the complete propaganda of otherwise law-abiding. Okay, that's always the phrase that you hear with the dreamers. And so then what does that mean? Well, Byron York does a good job of that. Let me give you another illustration of that. One of the leading public faces of the dreamer movement is Jose Antonio Vargas. I've debated this man. Mm-hmm. Nice guy. He is a Filipino who came here illegally, was essentially lied to by his grandparents about what his status was, and didn't discover that he was here illegally until he went and applied for a driver's license. And finally, his grandparents had to cough up the truth. Otherwise law-abiding. Do you know what he did to remain in this country to this day as, you know, a flagrant illegal alien out of the shadows? He used a fake passport with a fake name and a fake green card and a bogus social security number. And then he committed perjury repeatedly on his I-9 employment eligibility forms. This is a man who worked for the Washington Post, who has been highly visible, flouting the law. And then when he was pursuing his journalism career goals, he ignored a legal counsel that told him that he should go back to the Philippines, make it right, and then reapply. Because there is a way for, even if you have violated the law, quote unquote, through no fault of your own, that if you go back to your home country and reset the buttons, you still can get in. He decided to ignore that advice, and instead he used a friend's address to obtain an Oregon driver's license under false pretenses, and then he used it to travel on planes, across the border, and this guy has been to the White House and been able to, like, subvert all of the Secret Service clearance when Obama was.
Well, right, and it's
otherwise law-abiding is a farce.
And it seems to me this is where there's a soft underbelly to this movement, particularly with everybody paying lip service to the idea that people who commit crimes other than their status, to continue this line of discussion, they should be deported. Most Americans agree with that. And so if you kind of get below the fold to the details on this with respect to the tolerance for criminal activity that could be part of this DREAM Act, that seems to me like a real weakness in terms of congressional passage.
Right, absolutely. And again, there's another pretense that somehow these are victimless crimes. If you've ever had your ID or credit card stolen, It's a nightmare that can last you your entire life trying to disentangle this. And there have been a couple of good stories on this of people who were victimized by illegal alien identity theft. And that's why you have to stop this devil's bargain. Okay, now I'm hearing that, we need to trade border wall funding for extension, or obviously what always happens is expansion of the Obama executive amnesty. I mean, haven't you learned from the Reagan 1986 amnesty that the open borders people will get everything that they want, and we will never get what we want, which is a return to an orderly immigration system without all of the loopholes that are being exploited. Every time you pass an amnesty, there's one thing that happens. You get more illegal immigration.
She is Michelle Malkin, best-selling author, senior editor of Conservative Review. Also, the always provocative write-ups on her website, michellemalkin.com. Michelle, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
You bet.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan Proft here with an important message for Chicagoland business owners. If you own or rent your building, chances are that you're paying more than your fair share of property taxes. Ask yourself this question. If you could lower your property taxes with the help of licensed professionals who have an 80% average success rate, yes, you heard that right, an 80% success rate, lowering business owners' property taxes, would you do that? Corporate Valuation Advisors has reduced their clients' property taxes on average by 20% over their 25-year service history throughout the greater Chicagoland area. Here's a Corporate Valuation Advisors' recent property tax savings success story from a local Chicago business owner. Their first year of property tax savings equaled $26,265. The total four-year property tax savings equaled $104,679. Call Corporate Valuation Advisors. They can help. 630-923-5371. That's 630-923-5371. You can also find them at yourfairtax.com or visit 560theanswer.com and look for the Corporate Valuation Advisors banner.
Hey, Dan, guess what Russell does the first 10 minutes of social studies class at his public school?
Let's see. Anti-Catholic Blaine Elementary. Take out your Marx Engels reader. And let's practice our knowledge of the Communist Manifesto.
No. First 10 minutes of every social studies class, they spend watching CNN. Every day.
So it's just a visual version of what I said.
So the school year is underway, and you may already be feeling a little uneasy about your child's school or teacher. Public schools are changing rapidly, and even if you aren't happy with what your son or daughter is learning in the classroom or on the playground, then maybe it's time to consider a private school. And private schools have never been more affordable thanks to our friends at halfpriceschools.com. It's easy. Halfpriceschools.com is partnered with dozens of private schools in the Chicagoland area to offer tuition vouchers for half the regular price. There's no catch. Just go to the halfpriceschools.com website and find a private school in your community. They still have availabilities at Chicago Hope Academy in Chicago, Christian Hills School in Orland Hills, Emmanuel Lutheran School in Palatine, just to name a few. So do not wait another day. School has started, and don't settle for a public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, CERTA, or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Hey, protect your firearms and valuables in the best. A Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter's Supply. Maxson is Illinois' largest Liberty Safe dealer and stocks the complete line of Liberty Safes the best money can buy. Not in stock? Maxson will order it. You can pick it up at Maxson or have it delivered and installed almost anywhere in your home. And for a limited time, Liberty is offering interest-free financing for qualified customers. Owning a Liberty Safe has never been so easy. No money down and 0% financing for year one. Hey, visit LibertySafe.com for details. For over 25 years, millions of American homes have trusted Liberty Safes to protect their guns, keep them out of reach of children, and protect their valuables from theft and fire. Liberty stands behind every safe with a lifetime warranty. If anyone tries to break into your Liberty Safe, they'll repair or replace it for free. Hey, choose the best. Trust a Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter Supply in Des Plaines. Visit MAXONshooters.com or shop online at libertysafe.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It'd be nice if the Catholic Church took such an interest in Catholicism as they do immigration policy. The Democrats' religious test to be a government official at 8:38.
And later, Kathy Hart's been fired, cut loose from the mix. We'll tell you why. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
59 degrees, cloudy skies, southern Mexico's largest earthquake in more than a century. Still has people shaking this morning. 5.0 aftershocks have just hit. 15 are dead. The 8.1 magnitude quake has 2 million without power. It struck just after midnight. Forecasters say Hurricane Irma marching between the Bahamas and Cuba right now on its way toward Florida as a Category 4 storm. A data breach at credit reporting giant Equifax could affect more than 140 million people in the U.S. Equifax announcing yesterday that hackers gained access to files that included names, birth dates, and social security numbers. San Diego's streets are being power washed this morning, all in an effort to combat a hepatitis A outbreak. Streets will be washed with chemicals that can kill the hepatitis virus. So far, hundreds of folks have gotten sick. 15 have died. 36 hand washing stations have been set up in areas that have been most impacted. Bail set at $2.5 million for a Chicago man accused of striking his 3-month-old son in Mount Prospect. Governor Bruce Rauner ready to pay off some of the state's old bills. Governor announcing yesterday a plan to borrow $6 billion to pay down some of Illinois' $15 billion backlog. The state of Illinois scores for the ACT college entrance exam have increased statewide for 2017, but the number of students taking that test has dropped. Students posting a 21.4 score across all 4 subjects on the exam. The statewide score is the highest in the last 5 years, but the number of test takers dropped by 21,000. Cubs over the Pirates 8-2. Indians drill the White Sox 11-2, a 15th straight win for the Tribe. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, when you purchase a set of Napa brakes and rotors, you get up to a $50 discount code toward your favorite fan gear from Fanatics.com. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound I-80, we've got a jam from Wolf Road to 183rd with a crash blocking the right lane. We're told there was a hit and run involved here. Westbound heavy, Pulaski to 183rd. Northwest Indiana, westbound 8094 is heavy from Grant to Klein. It's okay eastbound. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 37. Kennedy, 58 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 39 for Montrose. 30 in the Express. Outbound 38 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour and 6-minute drive from Thorndale to downtown. 49 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 47 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 34 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays are from the Stevenson to 31st and in pockets between the Reagan Tollway and Irving Park. The Adams and Reagan Tollways are fine. Veterans Memorial, slow 75th to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and cool today. High near 66, partly cloudy and 52 overnight. Currently 60 at O'Hare, 55 in Aurora. And your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. on AM 560, explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the Catholic Church has weighed in on the DACA situation. And it's fascinating to see the left embrace biblical pronouncements and suggest that they be the basis for secular law. Where otherwise, if it's a conservative Catholic in any position in government, there's the threat of a theocracy. That's what we call left-wing hypocrisy. And, frankly, the hypocrisy of a politicized church. The Catholic Church has long watched with pride and admiration as DACA youth live out their daily lives with hope and determination to flourish and contribute to society, continuing to work and provide for their families, continuing to serve the military, continuing to receive an education. Yeah, receive. Today, our nation has done the opposite of how Scripture calls us to respond. It's a step back from the progress that we need to make as a country. That was the statement of the U.S. Catholic Conference of Bishops. I'm looking for the statement from the U.S. Catholic Conference of Bishops on how appellate court nominee Amy Barrett was treated before the Senate Judiciary Committee this week by Senators Difei and Durbin. I'm looking for the Catholic Conference of Bishops statement on the attack veterans are under, military men and women are under, by anti-Christian zealots at the Military Religious Freedom Foundation as they continue efforts to deny religious liberty to men and women in uniform. They have there's a petition that's circulating to support religious liberty for U.S. troops. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation has attacked the National Day of Prayer and other First Amendment protected religious speech, banned Bibles from veterans' displays honoring fallen soldiers. I'm serious. Banned Bibles from veterans' displays honoring fallen soldiers. Christians in the military, quote unquote, monsters who terrorize. That's what the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, just how they describe them. Where's the Catholic Conference of Bishops statement on that? Where's religious leaders, frankly, of an interfaith collection to decry this? We got the Wall Street Journal doing it. The ugly implication of Difei yesterday, or this week, I should say, in that Senate Judiciary Committee, is underscored by the context. She deployed these words that you're about to hear to suggest Amy Barrett, a Notre Dame law professor, mother of 7, faithful Catholic as she describes herself, and nominee for an appellate court appointment, would substitute her personal beliefs for the law despite evidence to the contrary. Listen to the exchange.
When you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. And that's of concern when you come to big issues that large numbers of people have fought for years in this country.
Should conservative Catholics face a religious test to serve in government, and conservative Christians generally, and conservative Jews, conservatives who are religious? Should government only be for CNOs, Catholics in name only? GNOs, Jews in name only.
Catholic light.
Yeah, right? And other conservative people of faith.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey Debt Pro answer line.
Isn't that what they're saying? David Harsanyi, good piece in the Federalist. Democrats increasingly comfortable with religious tests. Barrett's real sin, this is the appellate court nominee, isn't that her faith might get in the way of doing her job, but rather that chances are exceptionally high that she will take her oath to uphold the Constitution far more seriously than Feinstein does. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what are they afraid that her religious beliefs are going to cloud her judicial judgments?
No.
And
No, they're afraid of exactly what what I just read from Harsanyi. That's what they're afraid of. They're using this, is she going to substitute her personal religious beliefs for the black letter of the Constitution, something they don't abide, or the black letter of the law, which Ms. Barrett has written extensively on. There's no indication she would do anything of the sort. This is demagoguing a person of faith, as our own Sack of Durbin, senior senator from Illinois, did as well.
So let me ask you this question. I'm a product of 19 years of Catholic education, and every once in a while, Holy Mother of the Church has not agreed with a vote of mine and has let me know. You use a term in that article, or you both use a term in that article I'd never seen before. You refer to Orthodox Catholics. What's an Orthodox Catholic?
As I recall, that term, we said something like, for lack of a better term, we're using the term Orthodox Catholic, and there was a long footnote saying, that was an imperfect term. It could, refer to Orthodox Judaism, Greek Orthodox. And so we kind of cast about, but what that term was designed to capture, because we were talking about conscientious objection, was a judge who accepted the church's teaching that the death penalty would be impermissible in that case. We wrote about it from the perspective of a Catholic judge because my professor, John Garvey, had already undertaken that project, but it's really a problem that could face a judge of any religion or no religion at all who had a conscientious objection to the death penalty.
Do you consider yourself an Orthodox Catholic?
I am a Catholic, Senator Durbin. Orthodox Catholic, we kind of, as I said in that article, we just kind of use that as a proxy. It is not, to my knowledge, a term currently in use, but if you're asking whether I take my faith seriously and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am, although I would stress that my personal church affiliation or my religious belief would not bear on the discharge of my duties as a judge.
There are many people who might characterize themselves as Orthodox Catholics who now question whether Pope Francis is an Orthodox Catholic. I happen to think he's a pretty good Catholic.
I agree with you.
Good. Then that's good common ground for us to start with.
Go pound sand, Durbin.
Seriously.
Are you now, or have you ever been an Orthodox Catholic? Wall Street Journal, let's hope the Senate rejects the bigotry that marred Wednesday's hearing and approves the eminently qualified Miss Barrett for the Seventh Circuit. The federal bench could use more judges who understand their civic duty as well as Miss Barrett does. Senator Franken, he's the guy with the satellite dish on his head. He accused Miss Barrett of having appeared before a hate group.
What?
He's talking about the Alliance Defending Freedom, which is a religious liberty organization, the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a left-wing agitprop organization, designated a hate group because it adheres to traditional values about human sexuality and marriage. So that's a hate group for the left. And this is the predicate they use to squash people's religious liberty and to drum them out of public service. That's Franken. That's Durbin. That's DiFi. Bernie Sanders. You remember this exchange? Bernie Sanders and the nominee for deputy OMB director, Russ Vought. This is early in the Trump administration. This is several months ago. But just so you understand, this is not a one-off.
Let me get to this issue that has bothered me and bothered many other people. And that is in the piece that I referred to that you wrote for a publication called Resurgent. You wrote, Muslims do not simply have a deficient theology. They do not know God because they have rejected Jesus Christ, his son, and they stand condemned. End of quote. Do you believe that statement is Islamophobic?
Absolutely not, Senator. I'm a Christian, and I believe in a Christian set of principles based on my faith. That post, as I stated in the questionnaire to this committee, was to defend my alma mater, Wheaton College, a Christian school that has a statement of faith that includes the centrality of Jesus Christ for salvation. And
again, I apologize. Forgive me. We just don't have a lot of time. Do you believe that people in the Muslim religion stand condemned? Is that your view?
Again, Senator, I'm a Christian, and I wrote that piece.
Well, what does that say?
With the statement of faith of Wheaton
I understand that. I don't know how many Muslims there are in America. I really don't know. Probably a couple of million. Are you suggesting that all of those people stand condemned? What about Jews? They stand condemned too?
Senator, I'm a Christian.
I understand you are a Christian, But this country is made up of people who are not just. I understand that Christianity is the majority religion, but there are other people who have different religions in this country and around the world. In your judgment, do you think that people who are not Christians are going to be condemned?
Thank you for probing on that question. As a Christian, I believe that all individuals are made in the image of God and are worthy of dignity and respect, regardless of their religious beliefs. I believe that as a Christian, that's how I should treat all individuals.
And do you think your statement that you put into that publication, they do not know God because they've rejected Jesus Christ the Son and they stand condemned, do you think that's respectful of other religions?
Senator, I wrote a post based on being a Christian and attending a Christian school that has a statement of faith that speaks clearly with regard to the centrality of Jesus Christ in salvation.
I would simply say, Mr. Chairman, that this nominee is really not someone who is what this country is supposed to be about.
Really? Not someone this country is supposed to be about. That was for a deputy OMB position.
A deputy
Office of Management and Budget, a green eye shades position. So tell me again about those who are so concerned about religious liberty, those Catholics who identify as Democrats, and what the Democrat Party's position is with respect to Catholicism, with respect to Christianity, with respect to imposing religious tests, which is what they're doing in these hearings, for service on the federal bench, service in the federal government. Fran in Mount Prospect, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I was just wondering if either of you had ever seen a documentary-type movie called "A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing."
No, I have not, no.
All right. I suggest you look for that because I'm not an authority on any of this by any means. But I watched that. It was on the Catholic Channel. But it was...
EWTN or what?
EWTN.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out. Thanks for the call, Fran. It's got add that to my queue for movie watching. James in Westmont.
Morning, guys. Just to let you know, Dan, I am a Knight of Columbus, and in our publications, the have talked about how, even though they don't get involved directly politically, but they have talked about how to, at least the Knights, standing up for the religious beliefs in the military for everyone, including Catholics, of course, and, other Christians. But I remember reading in one of our publications about standing up to, religious freedom or whatever you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least you have some group, that's trying to...
The Knights, yeah. No, the Knights, that's fair. Yeah, standing up against the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, yes. Thanks for the call, James. Appreciate that. Worthy of recognizing the Knights. What am I doing here? Tim in Woodstock, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning.
Part about being on the left is that you get to be an orthodox leftist without being questioned about it. But no one else is allowed, apparently, to work from their worldview, their particular worldview. But, the problem with hate speech, Dan and Amy, is that the left gets to define it, and you guys have pointed that out. Witness the words of Nancy and Dick Durbin yesterday interrogating this potential circuit court judge, ridiculing her for being an Orthodox Catholic. Why are their words not considered hate speech is one thing I wondered. And Dan, another question, maybe a question for another time in general, is I don't understand why the likes of Senator Durbin and Pelosi have not been excommunicated for facilitating the killing of unborn children. Maybe sometime when you have a little more time, maybe you could expound on that a little bit.
Thanks for the call, Tim. Yeah, why? I mean, there's good questions, and particularly why do they get to define hate speech? Not only do they get to define it, as you saw, in a very sanitized way, they get to use it. That was religious bigotry, Catholic in this case, but it's not limited. That's not the limit of their bigotry, on display before a eminently qualified federal appellate court nominee, accomplished law professor, just as it was for a deputy OMB nominee. And that they don't not only get to define hate speech, they get to use it. And who says anything? Not even most of the leadership of the church.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
One thing I know for sure, that so many of our listeners get a great night's sleep, and that's because so many of you have purchased MyPillows. You've saved a lot of money, and if you don't sleep on a MyPillow, I suggest you act now. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You can move the fill to give you the support you need regardless of sleep position, and you won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash them and dry them. They are hypoallergenic, and there's a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. The founder of MyPillow, Mike Lindell, is a true patriot, and he's generous. He donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. So get your 50% off the 4-pack in September by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the teachers union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the teachers union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on a path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org, or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving network. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Well, thanks so much for making us part of your work week, part of your morning, and especially to Justin Kosick, who decided to make a parody of Despacito with El Gallito.
This is a democracy, and we will make democracy work.
El Gallito. This is how we do it in the Hillies 4th District. Just another Democrat unrealistic. I want to hear you scream impeach 45. El Gallito.
Really hits those high notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a gift to you, we've decided to chip in and get you voice lessons. Because you're a little pitchy, just a little off.
Now, that's ruined Despacito for me now. Thanks a lot.
Is that possible?
That's possible. Thanks also to Keith Conrad, our executive producer, and our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who lives in Florida. Godspeed and good luck. Now let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
We're watching Irma track toward Florida, and we're watching southern Mexico after a huge earthquake. Fox with the latest on those stories coming up. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.